What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 7 Centigrams Chapter 126, The First Alchemy Emperor of the Eight Masters, New Series Review, The Story of Mewtwo and Xiaozhi. Advertisement. After starting to use Charizard on the first day of junior high school, Dandy immediately used Gigantamax. Under the Gigantamax contest condition, the current physical strength will be doubled directly, and the moves will be changed. I have to say that Dan Emperor is indeed good at playing. Dynamaxing is indeed the best choice under the full health contest condition. Charizard, who transformed into a ferocious monster, let out a roar, and then directly used the exclusive move of Gigantamax. G-Max Wildfire. The extremely powerful move has its own lock-on waveguide effect, and you can't dodge it under normal circumstances. So Togekiss can only be hardwired with Protect. However, the Super Giant Hell Flame passed directly through Protect, killing Togekiss. Cynthia only has the last trump card left, Garchomp. After dynamizing Garchomp and fighting for several minutes, Garchomp unfortunately lost in the end. There is no way, even though Garchomp Attribute has the upper hand. However, Dandy's Charizard level is too high. Cynthia unfortunately got the second place. At this point, the world's mightiest trainer has been decided. He is the Alchemy Emperor of the Galar region. In the afternoon, there will also be a competition between the third place and the third place. At that time, Ingo and Diantha will fight, but I'm afraid Xiaozhi can't see it. Because in the afternoon, he will participate in the top 16 of the Indigo Plateau Conference. Dante's Charizard is quite powerful. Under the Gigantamax contest condition, it is even stronger than my Mega Charizard. Xiaozhi was stunned when he heard this. Is Mr. Dandy's Charizard so powerful? You know, the red Mega Charizard has defeated the High Legend. In today's world, this is an unprecedented feat. I didn't expect that Alchemy Emperor's Charizard could reach this level. It's okay. Charizard, who is 10 years older than me, has nothing wrong with being the strongest trainer in the world. But now, even after he reaches Gigantamax, he can't beat my normal Charizard. People say no, Brother Chihong, the increase in Charizard's combat power is too exaggerated. You actually said that the Alchemy Emperor couldn't win even if he went to Gigantamax? In fact, everything Kai Hong said is true. Dandy's current Supergiant Charizard is already stronger than his original Mega Charizard. However, the Supergiant contest condition can only last for 3 skills, not to mention. His original Mega Charizard was not up to the level of defeating high-level legends. There are many factors that go into defeating Mewtwo. Of course, that doesn't mean that Dan Emperor's talent is inferior to his. Kai Hong felt that in terms of talent, in this world, it would not be an exaggeration to say that Emperor Dan was the second best talent in the world. Second only to Xiaozhi, but he is too strong. Charizard is not as strong as rival, in addition to training by himself. There is simply no one to train as Charizard's rival. In addition to fighting with Green and Green, the red Charizard can also practice with Mewtwo. With rival, only by improving your strength can you go faster. This is also the reason why Dan Emperor's growth is so much slower than him. Chihong has learned about Dan Emperor, the undefeated king who started at the age of 10. The time for his lonely defeat is too early. Even after Red won the championship, she fought back and forth with Green. The outcome is always close to 7 or 3, after all, Xinglu is also a legendary trainer. And Dandy really doesn't have any rival. He has always been crushing the same period. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the undefeated king. All I can say is, it's a pity. If there was a strong opponent of the same level, Dan Emperor's current strength could be even higher. But it doesn't matter, he will have it soon. Chihong glanced at Xiaozhi, who was still watching TV with interest. Xiaozhi's performance last night exceeded his expectations. If it were him, when he was being held down, beaten and abused all the time. Even if you know that the other party is indeed stronger, it will definitely lead to discouragement, discomfort, and thoughts of escaping. However, Xiaozhi didn't, or even if he did, he continued to fight. The same goes for Charizard and Pikachu, and after a night of special training, their strength has also been improved gratifyingly. Your efforts are not in vain. As for Pidgeotto Bulbasaur, they haven't even reached gym level yet. Rather than fighting, they pay more attention to daily training. While teaching Xiaozhi, Chihong also customized a training plan for him. Although it is difficult, but it definitely works. His Lapras transformed directly into a humanoid Pokémon Center, constantly using Life Dew for healing. Lapras is used to this. I used to look like this when I was doing special training at Mount Silver. The morning passed, and in the afternoon, the top 16 of Xiaozhi's Indigo Plateau Conference officially started. This morning, Gary had defeated rival in the top 16 and successfully advanced to the top 8. The two of them are in different halves of the district, in other words, if they want to meet. Just wait until the Indigo Plateau Conference finals. The premise is that they can go to the highest final stage. Xiaozhi's rival Richie is also a pretty good trainer, before the Heavens inventory comes. He's on the same level as Xiaozhi, advertisement, but now, the difference is too far. In order to train his Pokémon, Xiaozhi first sent out Froka and Muck. They all won relatively easily, when Richie released his last Pokémon, Pikachu. Xiaozhi also put Pikachu on the field. As expected, he instantly killed rival. Pikachu, who has already entered the gym level and is starting to vaguely surpass it, is really not Richie's Pikachu that can be touched. At this point, Richie regretfully bids farewell to the Indigo Plateau Conference and achieved a good result of reaching the top 16. Rookie trainer, if you reach the top 16, you will be successful. Let's fight again next time we have a chance. Okay. After a friendly handshake, the two sides left the field. Xiaozhi's next rival is a girl named Lily, and the quarterfinals are also 6-on-6 duels. For this reason, Xiaozhi still had to make some preparations. That was the original plan. However, when Xiaozhi came outside the Indigo Plateau Conference, he was greeted by an expressionless Jihong. What's wrong, brother Jihong? Are you sure that Richie is the trainer who got 8 badges? Yes. Richie's level is already considered relatively strong among the contestants, otherwise, he wouldn't have reached the top 16 of the Indigo Plateau Conference. Crimson. What the hell, is your gym leader letting the sea go? Can you get 8 badges without even evolving Charmander? Crimson is not discriminating against Pokémon that have not evolved. But even Kai Hong believes that only evolution can gain stronger power. Resisting evolution and so on, he has only been in contact with Xiaozhi for a short time. I had no idea that Xiaozhi's Pokémon were all weird. No one likes evolution. FTITJ, no matter whether the gym trainer in this world is released or not. The water content of these 8 badges is too much. Including the Pikachu named Ren that the other party took as a trump card. Haha, the level of normal electric mice cannot reach the super standard strength of Xiaozhi and Pikachu. If there is no evolution in the future, the level will be limited there. Not every Pikachu is a Chippy or Red Pipe. Kai Hong rubbed his eyes, feeling a little tired. What kind of special training did he have last night? I took a look at the strength of your rival Lily. If nothing else, your Charizard and Pikachu can hit 6 in a row, so there is no research value. Instead of that, teach me how to surf the internet tonight. Internet access? Xiaozhi suspected that he heard wrongly. Jihong actually wants to go online. Could it be that she has taken a fancy to a certain video game? What are you thinking? I want to watch your previous inventory video. Professor Oak told me that the videos I reviewed earlier can be viewed online, but I'm not familiar with the internet in your world. Please help me sort it out tonight. Okay. Instead of studying the rival named Lily, it would be better to take a look at the inventory he has never seen before. It is said that Xiaozhi's Charizard also fought against high legends. He would rather watch the high-end games than watch the low-end games here. Okay, why do people who make it to the top 8 still have Pokémon like Spearow and Tentacool in their hands, referring to Lily? In the afternoon, Jihong basically helped Xiaozhi train. Although there is no need to train in the evening, it does not mean that there is no need to train in the afternoon. And Gary also participated in the training. He couldn't just watch Xiaozhi leave him far behind. Although the gap is already a bit big now, Misty and Xiaogang were watching the game while eating melon. By the way, Xiaozhi also brings Trico over from time to time to get to know his partners. And train with Jihong. Anyway, you can go back at any time. Therefore, Trico is no different from being conquered by Xiaozhi now. Jihong is also quite interested in Xiaozhi's Solacean reaching the Hoopa Ring in another region. However, he didn't understand the power of space, and he didn't have any Pokémon on hand that understood this power. So he couldn't study anything. The third runner-up and the first runner-up of the 8th Masters have also been decided, the third runner-up Diantha, the third runner-up Steven. Steven lost because of his Mega Evolution. It's still hard for Diantha to stand up to the duel system. It is estimated that the system will be restricted in future competitions, otherwise, it would be too unfair. The time soon came to the afternoon, the inventory time that everyone is most looking forward to. The huge screen appeared in front of the world as promised. If this screen didn't appear now, they probably wouldn't be used to it. After all, Tiandao Inventory seems to have become an indispensable entertainment program in their lives. Not only can you become more informed, but you may even strengthen yourself. Who doesn't love a show like this, except for jealous silly dogs? At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's still the backyard of Professor Oak's laboratory. Xiaozhi and others have already set up stools outside the backyard to watch the game. This time is no different from the members I watched before. The champions just finished competing today. We have made an appointment to watch Xiaozhi's Indigo Plateau Conference quarterfinals tomorrow. I guess we will watch the inventory together again in the afternoon. As for now, it's still Xiaozhi, Jihong and others. Advertisement 0, please give me flowers. By the way, Trico has also been coming to Professor Oak's backyard since yesterday to watch the inventory. The reason why he could see the inventory image in New Show Palace Forest before seemed to be because he was the protagonist of the inventory. He didn't see the red inventory later, and he has read the entire Rainbow Hero arc. I also have a deeper impression of his trainer. This is really a unparalleled trainer. In addition, the branch he is holding in his mouth is the reward he received as a trainer, the branch of the World Tree. Professor Oak has returned his research to Xiaozhi. And now he is studying Flame Plate. How can he activate the Flame Plate's 10,000 areas? Trico is holding the branch of the World Tree in his mouth now, feeling that the grass energy in his body is flowing faster. If you train with branches, you will get twice the result with half the effort. The screen appeared at 5 o'clock. On the screen, several lines of text slowly jumped out. A new chapter is about to open. Taking stock of the story of Xiaozhi and legendary Pokémon, 1. Subtitle of this chapter, Mewtwo's Counterattack. There is still no guessing mode in this chapter. There is a chance that there will be a question answering mode. Please be prepared, viewers. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket now. The video officially begins. Close black lens bracket. After reading the above text, the whole world was in an uproar. Mewtwo's counterattack. This Mewtwo should be the red Mewtwo, right? What the hell is Mewtwo's counterattack? By the way, since Mewtwo has taken this inventory, that means Mewtwo also exists in their world, and Mewtwo is still called the legendary Pokémon. In other words, Cynthia Champion's guess is probably right. Asterisk 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 Mewtwo itself exists. Clear Cliff. Mewtwo looked a little ugly after seeing the title on the screen. Mewtwo's counterattack probably refers to the actions he had done before. I had finally managed to erase the memories of those people before, but I didn't expect that today the video would be broadcast directly to the public. And his thinking before was indeed a bit paranoid and abnormal. Everyone has their moments of failure, let alone this Pokémon who has been influenced by humans into the abyss. Thinking about what I did before, it feels a bit unbearable. Mewtwo's counterattack. Mewtwo's dark history. The red Mewtwo was stunned when he saw the text on the image using Psychic in the Pokeball. Sure enough, he exists in this world, but the story seems to be different from him in another world. You can even make a special inventory image. The image begins. It tells how Mewtwo in this world came into being. It even played out Mewtwo's experience from making a sound to escaping from Viridian Gym. Only then did everyone realize that the Mewtwo of this world was actually created by Team Rocket. They want to make Mewtwo and turn it into the strongest Pokémon to dominate the world. Giovanni's face darkened as he watched. Being able to create Mewtwo fully demonstrates the strength of their Rocket team. But Mewtwo's defection also fully illustrates the incompetence of their Rocket team. And Gary's face darkened, because the video showed a moment of his being killed instantly by Mewtwo. No wonder I always felt familiar when I saw Red fighting against Mewtwo. It turns out that he has fought against Mewtwo before, but that guy was covered with a bunch of machines. Who would recognize him? I hope no one else saw it. Ha ha ha, Gary, no wonder you came out of Viridian Gym in disgrace. It turned out that you were instantly killed by Mewtwo. Hey, damn it. Why are this guy's eyes so sharp now? Image continues. After Mewtwo escapes from Team Rocket, the scene changes to a sunny grassland. Xiaozhi Misty Xiaoging is camping on the grassland. Still the familiar three people, still the familiar Pikachu. This is the right aftertaste. I saw Xiaozhi lying weakly on the table, waiting for Xiaoging to cook and feed him. He couldn't even move a millimeter away from his mouth as he spoke. But when a man dressed like a pirate came to challenge Xiaozhi, Xiaozhi resurrected with full health and ran out to fight. From what the pirate man said, we learned that Xiaozhi now holds 8 gym badges and will be attending the Indigo Plateau Conference soon. In other words, this is the story after Xiaozhi got 8 badges and before he challenged the Indigo Plateau Conference. It is a story that has been experienced before. After all, Xiaozhi has now reached the quarterfinals of the Indigo Plateau Conference. Yeah, Xiaozhi, have you seen Mewtwo before? Facing Gary's question, Xiaozhi and Misty Xiaoging looked at each other. The three of them shook their heads at the same time. I've never seen it. I don't have any impression at all. No, I actually had a little impression when I saw Brother Qihong's Mewtwo, but I can't remember anything at all. Xiaozhi can't even remember it, let alone us. We have no memory at all. Misty Xiaoging really has no impression of Mewtwo. Chapter 127. Ground Pokemon. My pickup truck is ground type with super power, lost memories. Advertisement before watching the red inventory, the Pokemon Mewtwo. Not to mention they have seen it, they have never heard of it. In that case, what's going on with the image on the screen? Is it another parallel world? In the image, Xiaozhi is fighting with the pirate man. At the beginning, the opponent released Dungia and was easily defeated by Frogseed. Then releasing Machamp, Squirtle also used clever methods to knock the opponent down. The most outrageous scene has come. Seeing that Xiaozhi was too powerful, the other party directly released 3 Pokemon. Golem, Venomoth, Pinsir. They are all Pokemon of good races and not weak in strength. The pirate man directly asked Xiaozhi whether he dared to fight him 1-on-3, but Xiaozhi was not afraid. Just send Pikachu. Thunderbolt killed 3 Pokemon in one move. 1 move. 3 of them in seconds, and one of them is a Golem. The ground-type Golem was killed by Thunderbolt. Who dares to believe this? Pikachu at the beginning of the theatrical version, his combat power is YYDS. When Arceus comes, he has to be shocked. Yulongdu. Schrodinger's Pikachu. You never know whether his next move will be able to kill ground-type Pokémon. Lorelei. In this timeline, Xiaozhi should not have received the increase from Tiandao's inventory. In other words, Pikachu now has neither a turn nor a light ball. Dig it. What the hell is the combat power? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Don't ask, just ask about Schrodinger's combat power. Dante. I originally thought that at the previous Indigo Plateau Conference, Pikachu used electromagnetic levitation to pull the ground-type Pokémon to a loose level and then defeated it with a tyrannical power move. However, this what is it, I can't understand. Dan D originally thought that if his future self faced Xiaozhi and Pikachu. So is it possible to let your free agent flash trump card? Use ground-type moves to convert into ground-type attributes to deal with him. But now it seems. Haha, the ground-type is immune to the electric type. It's immune to the hammer. Or the 140 person said. Your ground type is immune to electricity, what does it have to do with my Pikachu? Under the astonished eyes of everyone, Xiaozhi declared victory. The pirate man also had a face full of disbelief. It was probably the first time in his life that he saw a ground-type Pokémon being instantly killed by an electric-type move. The scene changed, and a Ho-Oh. No, a Fearow flew past in the sky. There is a camera-like device on its neck. Turns out it was Mewtwo spying on them. After escaping, Mewtwo seemed to be planning something. All the great trainers in the area. Then, he directed the woman wearing a nun's uniform beside him. Let it send invitations to the selected trainers. An invitation called, the Battle of the Strongest Trainers. The Pokémon sending the invitation is a Dragonite. The quasi-god of the Kanto region actually turned into a messenger when he arrived here. Soon, all the invitations arrived in the hands of each trainer. Of course including Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi learned that a competition for the strongest trainer was going to be held in the new island Pokémon City. And when he was one of the invited ones, he was so excited. Decide immediately. Rush. Yulongdu. The strongest trainer invitation. Why didn't our Elite Four receive it? Close black lens bracket. Bruno. Indeed, none of the 4 Kanto elites received this invitation letter. Could it be that Mewtwo felt that our power was beyond our limits, so they didn't invite us? Close black lens bracket. Agatha. No. Haven't you noticed? The way Mewtwo finds trainer is the oldest old-fashioned method. It depends on the combat strength. Lorelei. Yes, all the trainers invited by Mewtwo have played against each other during that time. Only trainers who have outstanding performance in the battle will be invited. Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Got it, we Elite Four usually don't fight much. We train alone or go outside to practice, so. Mewtwo didn't come to us, right? Diantha. Lance's analysis makes sense. Bruno, what kind of brain do you have? What kind of strength is Mewtwo? Does he think the 4 heavenly lords are super powerful? Even a musician like you can't beat him. Open black lens bracket B. Bruno is criticized everyday.jpg, in the image. The scene switches to a shot of Mewtwo, who is seen sitting in the castle on the new island. The palm composed of 3 spherical fingers is covered with cyanwood-colored light. Then wave gently. The weather outside is starting to get turbulent. Skill Cyanwood's sunny soaring in the sky suddenly turned to dark clouds. And around the new island, and even all the way to the pier, the ocean began to roll with fierce waves. Turbulent waves. Raging waves. Huge waves. The weather in the entire area has become bad. For a moment, the audience around the world was silent. Is this the power of high-level super legends? You can control the power of nature effortlessly? One thought changes the sky, one thought changes the waves. It can be said that compared to Reshiram, Ho-Oh and other high-level legends with a sense of noble mystery, the power of Mewtwo, a high-level super legend, is even more terrifying. In terms of hard power, Mewtwo may not be stronger than them, but Mewtwo is a super type. The super power system is the existence of bugs. Normal Pokémon can also release weather skills, such as Sunny Day, Rain Dance, etc. But that can only cover a small area at most. Like Mewtwo, not only does it cover a series of small islands, it even covers weather control close to several cities. I'm afraid even 100 Pokémon using Rain Dance together can't do it. Advertisement. The attribute of the super power system has been a bug attribute since ancient times. If it hadn't been for the appearance of an evil element that could overcome the enemy, I'm afraid that the super element would now be even stronger than the dragon element. Of course, each high-level legend has its own exclusive power. For example, Ho-Oh's resurrection, Lugia's control of ocean currents, Zekrom's lightning, Reshiram's fire. Mewtwo seems to have no exclusive power, just psychic power is reported. Just pure omnipotence. After the weather is controlled, ships from the pier to the new island can be suspended. The audience watching was a little confused. Since you want the trainers to go over, why bother creating these storms? Although you are really handsome when you create storms and waves. After the storm appeared, at the Pokémon Center near the pier, pier manager Bogia dissuaded many trainers from going to sea again. There has been a big fuss about the strongest trainer for a long time. So Bogia also knows why trainers want to go to sea. But, it's really dangerous to go to sea in this weather. And Miss Junsha on the side was also trying her best to dissuade everyone. Many people are definitely not willing to do so. After all, the title, the strongest trainer, is very attractive. But the wind and waves outside are indeed very strong. Some people simply took advantage of the situation and no longer insisted on going to the new island. After all, it was windy and rough outside, but Miss Bojia and Junsha still stopped them. How to get there? Misty, Xiaozhi, this is. Yes, this is the Pokemon Center we went to originally, but we forgot what we were going to do there. If they have no memory of getting the invitation letter. So it can be said that they have a deep memory of this Pokemon Center. Because right here, they forgot why they came to the Pokemon Center. I don't even know when it rained heavily outside. Just as soon as we went out, the heavy rain stopped, and Xiaozhi also said that he met the fantasy Pokemon after the rain cleared up. I guess. Something happened to us after this, and the memory was cleared. Xiaozhi rubbed his chin and guessed. Xiaozhi and Misty were shocked, and their memories were cleared, according to this field. No matter how much I think about it, I can only think that this is what a super-type Pokemon did. And the super-type Pokemon they are most likely to come into contact with during the rainstorm is Mewtwo. Next. What happened? In the image, just when Miss Junsha and Bojia relaxed. Dozens of trainers suddenly rushed out. Bojia and Jenny had no chance to stop them. Xiaozhi and others also ran out. Then, the trainers who ran out released their Pokemon and headed to the new island, each showing their special abilities. Xiaozhi also shouted enthusiastically. As a Pokemon trainer, the future world's #1 Pokemon master, how could I be afraid of such a small disturbance? Well said. Do you have any Pokemon to go to the new island? Forehead. Xiaozhi thought about his water Pokemon. There is only one Squirtle. Why did Turtle take him to a new island so far away? Asterisk 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 asterisk. Ha ha ha. Bungboo is alive. 1 second you were ambitious. The next second you were frost-beaten eggplant. Brother Xiaozhi doesn't even have a reliable water-type Pokemon. How will he travel on the sea in the future? It would be okay if Turtle could evolve into Blastoise. Hey, I think Turtle is very cute now. I even saw his outstanding performance at the Indigo Plateau Conference before. That's right. Xiaozhi's contrasting performance made many people burst into laughter. The audience also didn't expect that Xiaozhi didn't have any Pokemon that could walk on the sea. At this time, the real protagonist comes, in the image. 2 people wearing Roman headdresses and clothes paddled a wooden boat and arrived in front of Xiaozhi and others. Young men, you seem to be in trouble. Do you need help? Under special circumstances, I can give you a free ride. Xiaozhi and others were overjoyed. They came to the wooden boat without thinking. Then, the 2 men who looked like Romans rowed their wooden boats and drifted away. Yulongdu. Those 2 people. Diantha. It's Team Rocket, Team Rocket. Even if you're disguised, you can't hide it from me, the ancestor of makeup. Close black lens bracket. As a big celebrity, dressing up in disguise is natural for Diantha. So Diantha naturally recognized the true identities of the 2 rowers at a glance. Team Rocket Trio. Cynthia. Actually, you don't need to look at them to know that it's Team Rocket. After all, who would have a Meowth hanging on the bow of their ship? Everyone took a closer look and found that there was indeed a Meowth wearing an iron head helmet hanging on the bow. Meowth is also wearing a Roman costume. Their outfits this time are really unique. When Xiaozhi encountered a problem, the first person who came to help Xiaozhi turned out to be the Rockets trio. Really brought tears to my eyes. It's just that their little wooden boat, can it really pass through that terrifying hurricane rain? Advertisement soon. The image was given answer, no. In the image, Xiaozhi and his party advanced less than 1/3 of the distance. The huge wave directly overturned their boat. The Team Rocket trio also revealed their true colors. Damn it. Why are you everywhere? Hey little ghost. We're here to help you this time. What on earth do you want to do, since you? Xiaozhi's question triggered the reaction of Team Rocket and others. However, before they finished reading their lines, another huge wave came. The small boat that was originally unable to support itself was hit hard again. A group of 5 people were directly knocked out. They fell heavily into the sea. In this stormy weather, if you fall into the sea without a water-type Pokemon, it's no different than death. The audience's hearts were instantly lifted. Why did Xiaozhi go and do something dangerous? Delia was also frightened. You know, this is what Xiaozhi encountered before attending the Indigo Plateau Conference. Now that Xiaozhi is fine, it means that Xiaozhi in the video should also be fine. But this experience still scares Delia. This is simply like dancing on the edge of a cliff. If you are not careful, you will fall directly. Xiaozhi. Why didn't you tell your mother if you did such a dangerous thing? I don't remember. Xiaozhi looked innocent. Even though he remembered, he would not tell Delia. Besides not wanting to worry my mother, he also feels that he is a little adult and does not need to tell his mother everything. In the image, after falling into the sea, Misty released the only water Pokemon she had, Staryu. Starmie, Goldeen, Horsey are back in the Cerulean Gym, and as for Psyduck. You mean the duck that can't swim? With Staryu's help, Misty successfully returned to the sea, but the water was still rough. Misty is like a duckweed with a broken stem in the seawater, she can't help herself. Xiaozhi has no water Pokemon, so he is constantly being pushed around by the seawater. In the end, Staryu swam over and gave him a support point. The question is, where is Xiaozhi? Where did Xiaozhi go? Go down and have a look. Staryu took the two of them and sank into the seawater. As a result, I saw Xiaozhi holding Squirtle in the sea and rushing upward. And Pikachu who is clinging to Xiaozhi's clothes. Togepi is inside Misty's bag. Misty reached out her hand decisively after seeing Xiaozhi, and Xiaozhi also held Misty's hand decisively. Detail hold hands.jpg. The three of them assisted the two water-type Pokemon and managed to keep moving forward in the sea water. After going through a frightening and difficult process, the three of them finally arrived at the new island Pokemon City. After entering the Pokemon City Castle, 3 trainers are already waiting for the organizer to arrive in 3.6. They are Sora, who came from assist Gyarados flying, and Amy, who came from assist Gyarados to control water. And Sweetie from assist Blastoise. Among the many trainers who came over, only 3 of them and Xiaozhi came to the new island. At this moment, many viewers seem to understand something. The reason why Mewtwo created this bad weather is probably because he wanted to select the most powerful among the many trainers. And the scene is the result of Mewtwo's screening. After a while of greetings, the nun entered and introduced her master to everyone. Both the strongest Pokemon and the strongest trainer, Mewtwo. Mewtwo surprised everyone when he appeared on the scene. Hai Nan even slapped the table angrily and shouted, "Stop joking. How can a Pokemon be a trainer, and what kind of Pokemon are you? I've never seen it before, so why do you claim to be the strongest Pokemon?" "No, my rules are made by me." Telepathy sounded in everyone's hearts. Everyone understood instantly, this is a super-type Pokemon, and it's a super-type Pokemon with a very high IQ. Immediately afterwards, Mewtwo raised his right hand, and blue light covered his hand. Hainan was instantly controlled by a strange force and floated into the air, then he was thrown hard. He threw it directly into the small pool on the side. He stayed with his Gyarados. This is a super skill, Confusion. The Seaboy came out of the pool in embarrassment, and then ordered Gyarados to attack Mewtwo directly. The terrifying Hyper Beam condensed on Gyarados' mouth. Then a golden beam of light burst out. Waves of scorching sun even rolled up in the surrounding area because of this huge power. However, facing this terrifying destruction and death, Mewtwo just raised his hand and bounced back. The powerful skill hits Gyarados directly, defeating him instantly. The trainers present were all dumbfounded. Chapter 128. Mewtwo is the strongest Pokemon? Arceus has something to say. Advertisement in the image, no one expected. This guy who claims to be the strongest Pokemon doesn't even have any skills. Just by raising his hand, Gyarados' move was deflected back. How weak. A contemptuous smile formed on Mewtwo's lips. Then he waved his arm and the nun in front of him fell down. It turns out that the nun is Nurse Joy over there at the pier. In order to let her check her physical condition, Mewtwo controlled her and brought her over. Xiaozhi and others once again expressed strong condemnation for Solacean's control of human behavior like Mewtwo. The screen turned and suddenly came to the perspective of the Rockets trio. I saw them appearing in a dark research room, where there were many culture tanks. In the 3 culture tanks, there are even 3 Pokemon: Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. This is Kanto's Gosangia. It's just that they look a bit different from the Usangia, the final evolution of normal. Then, Jessie accidentally touched a button. Everyone finally knows why these Usangia are different from the ordinary Usangia. It turns out that these Pokemon are all replicas. Mewtwo didn't just come to the new island alone. Even Team Rocket's technology was moved to the new island, and one of my own Pokemon perfected the cloning technology. What kind of highly intelligent monster is this? The cloning device perfected by Mewtwo can create a new one in just tens of seconds. Meowth just accidentally had 3 of his hairs pulled off. Then a new Meowth was copied right in front of him. Not only that, beside the Team Rocket trio, there is also a Pokemon that looks like a kitten. The Pokemon has a pink body, wide open blue eyes, and a long tail on its back. This Pokemon is open black lens bracket Professor Oak. Mew. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Diantha. Is this Mew? Close black lens bracket Cynthia. I have seen the appearance of Mew at the historical ruins. The real Mew is much cuter than the ones depicted on the stone slabs at the ruins. Dandy. But why is Mew following Team Rocket? Close black lens bracket Kalia. Did he come to O3 to find Mewtwo? Do you want to determine who is the genuine pirate? Close black lens bracket Professor Oak. No, Mew's character is not aggressive. On the contrary, he is a very naughty Pokemon with a character like a child. He doesn't particularly like fighting. Close black lens bracket Professor Oak. Of course, this is all recorded in ancient books. No one knows whether it is true or false. And according to legend, Mew has the genes of all Pokemon. It can transform into the appearance of any Pokemon, including legendary Pokemon. Cynthia. Yes, so Mew is called the most powerful mythical beast in ancient books. As for whether it is true or not, no one knows. Close black lens bracket. Bruno. You two are reading the same ancient book? Open black lens bracket Professor Oak. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Cynthia. Close black lens bracket Bruno. Why is your angle so novel? Everyone is thinking about how powerful Mew is. The purpose of Mew's arrival, Mew's character, etc. Just so you're wondering why Professor Oak and Cynthia know the same thing. As expected of you Bruno, clear cliff. Mewtwo looked at Mew with a complicated light shining in his eyes. This was not the first time he saw Mew, but when he saw him again, his heart was still complicated. Mew can be said to be his parents. Without Mew, he would not exist. But after knowing that I can Mega Evolve, Mewtwo feels that he is not necessarily created by Mew. Maybe he was supposed to be born together with Mew, but later he died for some reason. Finally, the human hand of assist comes back to life. This is the guess of human champion Cynthia. Of course, the first sentence above is his own guess. Watching Mew from a third-party perspective actually feels quite novel, but thinking about what I did later. Mewtwo just turned off the image, Black History, true Black History. This guy looks the same in any world. Mewtwo's voice rang in Red's heart. In the world of Crimson, because he travels with Crimson, the legendary Pokémon is naturally not uncommon. Even Mew saw it. He who was guided and accompanied by Chi-Hong was not as paranoid as he in this world. Just a small fight and then left. After all, he's Mew. That guy turned into Ho-Oh in front of me and even scared me. Red replied Mewtwo expressionlessly. When we fought against Mew, that guy immediately turned into Ho-Oh. Just give him a try. Later it became Lugia and many other legends. The name of the mythical beast Ditto is well deserved. In the image, the screen once again switched back to Mewtwo's perspective. After pushing Nurse Joy away, he said coldly to everyone. I also wanted to live with humans, referring to being controlled by Giovanni and killing people everywhere. Isn't this how to live? But I'm disappointed. Humans are lower creatures than Pokémon. If this planet is left to the control of weak and cowardly humans, it will be doomed sooner or later. Advertisement Xiaozhi supported Nurse Joy with an angry look on his face. Then you mean to say that the world will be better off if it is left to you, to be managed by Pokémon? Not even Pokémon, if you want to explain why. Because this world has always been dominated by you humans, Pokémon that live for humans are not qualified to be managers. Hearing this, Teacher Yinpai jumped out. Pikachu. You said, you are not dominated by humans, you are only with that trainer because you like him? Pickup. Pikachu nodded. Xiaozhi was moved at the side, and Yao still remembered how much Pikachu hated him and humans at the beginning. Now I can express my love for him in front of Mewtwo. This is the bond between them. It's wrong for you to be with him. There was a bit of rage in Mewtwo's words, and then a blue light appeared in his eyes, and he directly controlled Pikachu and threw it hard. Pikachu. Seeing this, Xiaozhi jumped up and hugged Pikachu, flew out with Pikachu, and fell hard to the ground. Only weak Pokémon rely on trainers. Mewtwo's eyes were filled with mockery. However, this sentence directly offended another guy. Where is Mewtwo in this world? I think he needs a little lesson. Haha, don't you know very well where Mewtwo is in this world? After all, you are all Mewtwo. Even Chi-Hong almost couldn't help laughing. The Mewtwo of this world is indeed a middle schooler and has a high IQ. He could even say such philosophical words, even he himself was scolded. Only weak Pokémon rely on trainer. Isn't his Mewtwo relying on him now? Rely on his strength to go all the way, rely on his power. Mega evolves. Therefore, Mewtwo in Xiaozhi's world is undoubtedly mocking himself in another world. I'll go meet him after I finish watching the video. As Kai Hong said, Mewtwo in this world is like a light bulb in the night to Lemeng. It's impossible not to see him. It is estimated that he in this world should already know of his existence. Clear cliff. Mewtwo. What should I do if I get slapped in the face? Wait, hurry. You know, before this, he had the idea of letting Xiaozhi be his trainer. However, in this image, he is mocking Xiaozhi's Pikachu for relying on trainer. It used to be okay if Xiaozhi's memory was erased before, but now, I slap myself in the face? Image 1 faced with Mewtwo's ridicule, Soraman was not happy and said directly. It doesn't matter what kind of Pokémon you are, as long as it's a Pokémon, you can conquer it. So Rhyhorn was sent directly, however, the mighty and iron bone Rhyhorn can't survive one round in front of Mewtwo, it's useless, I was born to be the strongest Pokémon in the world. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Hoa Lugia has something to say. Close black lens bracket, Alder. The three dragons of the Tao expressed dissatisfaction. Stephen. The three ancient gods of Hoenn said they would give it a try, close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Arceus made a question mark. Close black lens bracket Mewtwo's words made many champions stunned. If you say you are strong, there is nothing wrong with that. If the level of advanced legend is not strong, then how can you be considered strong? However, you said you are the world's mightiest Pokémon. Sorry, you have to wait in line. There are many advanced legends in the world, and there is also a creator of all things, Arceus. Now that we call ourselves the world's mightiest Pokémon, isn't it a bit simplistic? In the image, Xiaozhi expressed dissatisfaction with Mewtwo's words. You will only know if he is strong or not after being beaten. Pikachu is also eager to try, the audience said. Forget it, Pai Shen, forget it, you should save your money now. Alola or you in the parallel world may still be able to fight, but as for this world, you haven't grown up yet. Mewtwo looked at Xiaozhi, who was dissatisfied, as if he had expected this. His eyes shone with a strange blue light, and then, 3 lifting platforms appeared in front of him. The 3 finally evolved Sangia appeared in front of everyone. Mewtwo told everyone bluntly that this was a replica he had made, and directly used the powerful confusion to unscrew the wall behind him. Behind the wall is Pokémon Stadium. The implication is, if you think you are strong as a trainer, let's try a Pokémon battle. Sorao chose to let his Venusaur go into battle against the opponent's Venusaur. And Sweetie is Blastoise fighting against the opponent's Blastoise. The last Charizard is naturally handled by Xiaozhi. It's up to you, Charizard. Laugh. As soon as Charizard came out, he spat out a handful of flames disdainfully, and Trainer came out again after nothing happened. Suddenly, he felt a powerful breath. Lifting the dragon's head, he looked at Mewtwo with sharp eyes, and then without hesitation spit up a thick flamethrower. Advertisement, but this move, flamethrower, was easily blocked by Mewtwo. What an uneducated Charizard, ha ha ha, it seems that brother Xiaozhi can't command Charizard yet. Yes. According to the original judging from the trajectory, brother Xiaozhi has to be at least in the Orange Islands to command Charizard. Now he hasn't even played in the Indigo Plateau Conference. And Charizard is still very weak now, he hasn't gone to Charizard Valley to train. Can he win? Who knows? Everyone is a little suspicious. They are not obeying Xiaozhi's orders now, and they have never been to Charizard in the Charizard Valley. Is it the rival of those replicas? After all, Charizard today is very weak. In the image, soon, the competition officially started. The first match is Sorao's Venusaur Bana versus Mewtwo's Venusaur. Facing the Grass-type Venusaur, Sorao chose to use Razor Leaf to test. However, this Razor Leaf was instantly shattered by the opponent's Vine Whip, then it was directly tied up. Then he hit the ground hard twice and then flew away. Boom! Venusaur fell heavily onto the stadium wall and lost her ability to fight. Instant kill. One move, Vine Whip, instantly killed the Grass-type Venusaur. The gap between the two sides is obvious, they are not on the same level of rival at all. Seeing this, Sorao ran past Venusaur worriedly, and Xiaoshan didn't have time to be shocked and directly let Blastoise come on. Sweetie's Blastoise is called Skus, and these people seem to have the habit of naming their Pokémon. As soon as Sikus came on the stage, he immediately released his ultimate water-type move, Hydro Pump. But Mewtwo's Blastoise directly used Rapid Spin, which not only instantly bounced away 2 thick water columns. It even hit Treasures directly and knocked him away hard. The Treasurer bounced out instantly like a cannonball and hit the wall at the edge of the stadium 470. Instant kill. Another instant kill. Xiaoshan's eyes widened and she hurriedly ran towards her Blastoise. Now, the 2 Yusan families have lost. Xiaozhi is the last hope. Yulongdu. It's over. How can Xiaozhi win? The current Charizard's foundation is still damaged. He has not been to the contest condition of Charizard Valley to exercise, plus he doesn't listen to Xiaozhi's words. How? There is no hope of winning at all. Diantha. All I can say about this is, Xiaozhi wants to win, he can only trust Lance. Open black lens bracket Dandy. Lance, I believe you. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Cynthia. Lance, I believe you. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket one cannot, at least one should not. Forget it, Lance also knows that he is poisonous. No, it's his powerful ability to predict reversely. Let's see whether the reverse prediction will take effect this time. In the image, after seeing both Blastoise and Venusaur being instantly killed, Xiaolu said worriedly. Xiaozhi, be careful, the opponent's level is much higher than ours. I know, please Charizard, we will never lose, roar. Charizard ignored Xiaozhi completely and flew out directly, shooting down with Flamethrower. In response, Mewtwo also waved his arm, and the Charizard on his side also flew out. Also use Flamethrower to fight Charizard. 2 powerful blazing flames collided together, sputtering out tiny sparks. However, within a few seconds, Charizard's Flamethrower was suppressed. Seeing this, Xiaozhi shouted. Get out of the way, Charizard. We can't fight him head-on. We have to win with speed. Charizard showed his struggle, but in the end his eyes narrowed, he cancelled the Flamethrower, and then he flapped his wings and quickly took off into the air. He decided, just this time, to follow Xiaozhi's orders. Seeing this, Mungia quickly took off and chased after him. Zhejian continued to spray out flames while flying, but the opponent dodged them all. Even during this period, he continued to use Tackle and Tail to attack Geo. Where can you win with speed? A sentence that Misty couldn't complain about. The opponent's speed is obviously faster than Xiaozhi's Charizard. Xiaozhi gritted his teeth, If you can't match your strength or speed, then how can you defeat rival? Could it be said that you can only? Charizard. Come on, since the opponent is faster and stronger than us, we will win with perseverance. Misty Xiaozhi. What the hell? What does it mean to win with perseverance? How can such an illusory thing help you win? The two Charizard flew directly above the clouds in the sky. After a fierce battle, Ji Feng was finally captured by Meng Feng. Then it dived down quickly. Seismic toss, here it comes. The killer seismic toss. No one can resist Charizard's seismic toss except for the #1 roaring tiger in the universe. If Ji Feng takes this move, Tian Yubaju can't fight. Can Xiaozhi turn the tide of the battle around at this critical moment? Chapter 129. Dismantle Gundam with bare hands. Machamp is unparalleled. This is the power of true rookie. Advertisement. Seeing Zifan and Mengfa swooping down, Xiaozhi's expression became more and more nervous. Suddenly he seemed to think of something normal and shouted to Charizard loudly. Charizard, don't admit defeat, use perseverance. Just turn around and throw him down. For me, use seismic toss on him. Zhejian, who was restrained by the card owner's throat, suddenly opened his eyes wide. Those who are perseverant will know perseverance all day long. But, I have just decided to obey his trainer's orders just this time. So, just listen to him and show your perseverance. Roar. Inexplicable power surged from Jifan's body, and then he grabbed Mengfa's arms with his claws and separated them with force. Then assists rapid swooping power threw Meng Shou down like a wolf. Boom. The huge stadium cracked open. Zheji was panting and floating and soaring in the sky, while Mengjet was struggling to stand up. But, the power of the causal skill seismic toss is too strong. Even if his level was much higher than the opponent's, he couldn't sustain this move and fell down in the end. Winning. Well done Charizard. Xiaozhi happily hugged Charizard, who landed, and responded with a powerful flamethrower move. Yulongdu. Gigi, can this be turned around? Close black lens bracket, dandy. It is indeed a law of cause and effect skill, seismic toss. I have to let my Charizard learn one too. But, how to learn this thing? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Shouldn't you say that you were worthy of the law of cause and effect, Lance? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. It seems to make sense. Ha 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 ha. Close black lens bracket, Alder. Lance's mouth is the devil of poisonous milk. Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. This is a reverse prediction, reverse. Qihong. Is the Yulongdu in this world so powerful? Close black lens bracket. Since coming to this world, this is not the first time that Kai Hong has seen Lance's poisonous milk. But, he didn't believe in this kind of thing before. After all, people always guess wrong. However, Lance can guess the opposite every time. Even Qihong has to believe poisonous milk exists in this world. Otherwise, who can make accurate reverse predictions time and time again? You think so, right, Guanziyuan? This is much more powerful than the Yulongdu in their world. In the image. How about this? This proves that the bond between people and Pokémon is not an illusion. Facing Xiaozhi's excited words, Mewtwo fell silent. According to calculations, his Charizard should be much stronger than the opponent's Charizard. Why did you lose to him? Could it be? Is this what the kid calls a bond? No, he will never admit it. Based on the best of 3 games, you still lose. Humans. That's all. Xiaozhi. No, when did you say you won 2 out of 3 games? You're cheating, right? Just then, several dark Pokeballs appeared around Mewtwo. Then it quickly bounced onto the fallen Venusaur Blastoise and Charizard beside Xiaozhi. Then these 3 Pokémon were put directly into the dark Pokeball. Everyone. Audience watching. What the hell? What the hell is this? Why can this ball ignore the rules and directly steal trainers' Pokémon? Even those villain organizations cannot directly cut off the connection between Pokémon and Pokeballs and capture Pokémon by force. This Pokeball. Could it be Team Rocket's latest technology? Mewtwo, who had captured 3 Pokémon, spoke to the shocked crowd. I want to use your Pokémon to create more powerful clones. Give up your resistance. In front of the Mewtwo ball I created, no Pokémon can break free. Even the conquered Pokémon are the same. Mewtwo ball. A Pokeball made by Mewtwo. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Hey, what is this? Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. The Mewtwo ball. This power, even the Master Ball, cannot be compared to it. Close black lens bracket. Red. Although Master Ball claims to be able to subdue Pokémon with Solacean, there is a prerequisite, that is, it can only be done if the Pokémon has not been subdued by others, because Master Ball cannot cut off the connection between Pokémon and Pokeball. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Mewtwo must have studied the protective device in the Pokeball, and then created the corresponding link-breaking device in the dark Mewtwo ball. What kind of intelligence is this? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Now is not the time to sigh. If this kind of Pokeball appeared in this world, I'm afraid it would cause riots throughout the world. Close black lens bracket. Diantha is right. If the Mewtwo ball appeared in the world, Then the bond between people and Pokémon really becomes a lie. No need to fight, no need to agree, just forcibly conquer the Pokémon. Even the Pokémon being attacked can be subdued directly, there's no resistance at all. This is simply the favorite of the villain organization. And I don't know what the upper limit of this Mewtwo ball is, if even the legendary Pokémon can't break free. Advertisement: this world may really be plunged into endless panic. Red. Don't worry, just watch it with peace of mind. Since you haven't seen the Mewtwo ball before the image comes out, you won't see it after. Even if it happens, it doesn't matter. I will support you. Close black lens bracket. Kai Hong directly gave everyone a reassurance. It also directly poured cold water on many ambitious and eager villains. Yes. Chi Hong has come to this world. The most important thing is, he most likely carries Mewtwo with him. So what if they got the so-called Mewtwo ball? As long as the red Mewtwo takes action, those balls made by Mewtwo will be destroyed in an instant. Or be directly controlled by Mewtwo. At that time, all these villain organizations will do is make wedding clothes for Mewtwo. As for developing a Pokeball stronger than Mewtwo ball? In this world, even Professor, who has the highest IQ, can he have a higher IQ than Mewtwo? That's the Mewtwo ball that single-handedly created the Mewtwo who perfected Shuren's technology. So, it's better not to dream. Again, with Kai Hong around, unless you can control Arceus, otherwise, who can beat Kai Hong? There is still a possibility that Chi Hong, who is 10 years old, can defeat him. 18 years old, playing with snakeskin, in the image. Seeing his Charizard being taken in by the Dusk Ball, Xiaozhi was shocked and confused and shouted angrily. Give me my Charizard in exchange for it. Misty hugged Togepi with anger on her face. It's against the rules to capture other people's Pokémon, and Xiaozhi obviously won, so why do you catch Xiaozhi's Pokémon? Rules? Here, I am the rule. Mewtwo is obviously planning to cheat? A blue light flashed in his eyes, and he wanted to stop Misty directly, but Xiaozhi stood directly in front of Misty. Misty was controlled instead and was thrown away directly, hitting Xiaoging. For Mega, the rookie, this click is nothing at all. Clear Cliff. Oh. Was he such a scoundrel back then? Why didn't he know? No way. He is a highly intelligent Pokémon. How could he do such a rogue thing? A shady secret. It must be a shady secret. Although Mewtwo secretly denied it in his heart, the cloned Pokémon around him looked at Mewtwo with complicated eyes. That's how they were created. This made Mewtwo almost want to find a way to turn in. Damn it. Damn Tiandao inventory, can't you take inventory of other things? What kind of guy does he think he is if he messes with history? Image 1. After releasing 3 Mewtwo balls at the beginning, Mewtwo did not stop. Countless balls appeared from behind him in vain. This ball has actually been mass-produced by Mewtwo. And his purpose of releasing these balls is naturally to capture all the Pokémon present. Drag them all to copy. Mewtwo is a bit sick at this time. He doesn't want just a few copies of them in the world. He needs more replicas to be his companions. Naturally, the trainers present would not sit still and wait for death, and quickly ran away with their Pokémon. But this place has been closed. Even if you run away, where can you go? Many Pokémon are being caught by Mewtwo balls one after another. Then he flew directly into the replication research room from a hole. Even the Pokémon that enters the Pokéball, the Mewtwo ball can directly collect the Pokéball, in order to achieve the purpose of conquering Pokémon. It can be said that there is no way to stop the conquering power of Mewtwo ball. This ball is really outrageous. Fortunately, this kind of ball has not been obtained by evil organizations, otherwise the world would be in chaos. It's okay. We have Red. That's the legendary trainer, the Red who conquered Mewtwo. That's not all. We also have Brother Xiaozhi, Chi Hong's peer. Rounding it all off, we have 2 Chi Hong. If there is no chaos, the world will never be in peace. In the Tiandao inventory forum, some people expressed concerns about the existence of Mewtwo balls, but this concern was quickly resolved. Because they have Chi Hong and Xiaozhi here, a legendary trainer and a future legendary trainer. If there is no chaos, the world will not be in chaos. In the end, only Misty's Togepi and Pikachu were left uncaught. Togepi was put into the bag by Misty. Mewtwo didn't know whether he didn't see it or didn't want to catch that weak Pokémon. So Togepi was not captured. And Pikachu, he relied on his flexible speed to keep dodging. In the end, nearly a dozen balls came to catch him. He was still able to escape flexibly. Xiaozhi is also always next to Pikachu, helping him open all the dusk balls. Mewtwo glanced at Xiaozhi and smiled disdainfully, then stopped paying attention to him. Instead, he turned his attention to the humans who had been robbed of their Pokémon by him, but Rage could do nothing about it. That's it. Rage, hate yourself for being weak and powerless. Humans can only watch helplessly as he takes the Pokémon away. Advertisement: the man named Giovanni taught him, whatever he needs, just grab it. Truth. Weak people are not worthy of hearing it. Yulongdu. The case has been solved. It turned out to be Giovanni's teaching, close black lens bracket. Damalanchi. Okay, Giovanni, you taught me well. What a B***********D, close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Mewtwo should be a blank slate when he is born. What kind of Pokemon he will become in the future depends on who he meets at the beginning. If the person he meets at the beginning is Xiaozhi. If it were, it would never be what it is today. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Unfortunately, he met Giovanni at the beginning. This tycoon who did all evil, led Mewtwo in the wrong direction. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. This review is about the story of Xiaozhi and the legendary Pokemon. So, Xiaozhi should help Mewtwo change. I just don't know what the process is. Sabrina. You'll find out after reading it. Close black lens bracket. Saffron City. Inside the Saffron Gym. Sabrina and Hunter beside her sat quietly in their room watching the big screen in front of them. If I remember correctly, Sabrina's family seems to be in the Saffron Gym. If I remember correctly, just ignore this little bug. Coincidentally, she was actually just as paranoid as Mewtwo back then. But later, Xiaozhi changed her, so she believed that if it was Xiaozhi, he could definitely change Mewtwo. Because he is such a magical boy. Oak backyard. By the way, if it weren't for me, would you still be a middle-class kid? You scold again. I didn't scold you, it's me on the screen too. Tisk, it seems. The Tsunare's character is the same as normal. Mewtwo was silent, this kid. From the time he was conquered by him until now, he has always been defeated by him, but this is also the way they get along. I hope he can meet the same person in this world, because this is indeed quite happy. Come on, the redness of this world. No, I should say Xiaozhi. Image 1. Xiaozhi and Pikachu are still avoiding the pursuit of Mewtwo Ball. In the end, Pikachu fell down from a staircase more than 10 meters high, and Xiaozhi jumped down desperately. I want to hold Pikachu in my arms. Sure enough, no matter when and where, Xiaozhi will risk his life for Pikachu. However, this time, Xiaozhi failed to catch Pikachu, and Mewtwo's ball was faster than him. In midair, Pikachu had nowhere to dodge and was finally subdued into the ball. And Xiaozhi fell into the water below. This made Delia, who was frightened in the backyard of Professor Oak's laboratory, breathe a sigh of relief. Where are the quick-acting heart-saving pills? I have to go get some and eat them. Pikachu also stiffened. Miss me dappy teacher Yingming, I have never been in a Pokeball since I started traveling. Now it was actually taken in by that broken ball. What a terrifying thing. In the image, after Xiaozhi came out of the water, he saw the Mewtwo ball that captured Pikachu, and his body instantly burst out with infinite power. Follow the Mewtwo ball all the way into the hole where Li Qinhao specializes in transporting Mewtwo balls. After gliding all the way to the laboratory, Xiaozhi saw the Team Rocket trio. But now Xiaozhi is obviously not in the mood to play house games with them anymore. He ran all the way to the transport track and firmly grasped the Mewtwo ball in his hand. Backquote, this is my Pikachu. No one is allowed to touch him. But at this time, the machine behind the crawler track has already linked the Mewtwo ball containing Pikachu. Xiaozhi didn't know what that meant, he just desperately pulled the Mewtwo ball against the robot arms. The countless tiny mechanical arms were directly torn off by Xiaozhi's Machamp. Not only that, that terrifying and huge machine seems to be gradually unable to bear it. Xiaozhi is making crazy trouble inside. Finally it exploded. 666, you are worthy of being your brother Xiaozhi. As this Mega the real rookie. He can do anything from heaven to sea, right? Forcibly dismantling such a large replicating machine with bare hands. What Machamp? Don't make trouble, did you meet brother Xiaozhi on the first day? That's a man who can fight against the Beedrill group. That's it, Xiaozhi, this unparalleled monster, shocked people all over the world. Although I have known for a long time that Xiaozhi has a very strong physique, but the power of dismantling a Gundam with his bare hands is too outrageous. After dismantling the machine, all the Mewtwo balls in the machine fell out, and all the Pokemon in the Mewtwo balls were released. It's just, those Pokemon have all been cloned, and none of the clones have arrived outside. Outside, Mewtwo looked at the empty space around Misty and others, and couldn't help but smile scornfully. Without Pokemon, what can you humans do? Humans, I'm not interested in your lives, go back quickly. If you can get through that hurricane rain. The castle door opened, revealing the weather outside, with dark clouds and tsunamis. Without Pokemon, you will definitely die if you go out. Is this the bad taste of Mewtwo? Chapter 130. Do you understand the value of smashing Mewtwo barrier with one punch? Advertisement. The storm was originally created by Mewtwo. But now he is asking everyone to go back on their own without relying on Pokemon. Mewtwo just wants to see what these people can do after losing their Pokemon power. Boom. At this moment, the wall behind Mewtwo made a violent noise. The solid wall was directly blasted open. Countless Pokemon ran out and walked to Mewtwo's side. Mewtwo looked at the broken wall with a puzzled expression. What happened? In the billowing smoke, a figure walked slowly. Unforgivable. Wantonly trampling on the bond between people and Pokemon, Solician plays with the lives of Pokemon. Only you are unforgivable. The smoke slowly dissipated, and Xiaozhi, the righteous trainer and hero of the rainbow, stood in front of Mewtwo. Hot knowledge. Even in the real world, Xiaozhi was already a hero of the rainbow the first day he met Flash Firo. The righteous voice just now was made by Xiaozhi. At this time, his face showed rage. Capture other people's Pokémon arbitrarily, and even clone other people's Pokémon. He is both a Pokémon poacher and a villain playing tricks on the gods. He didn't know the origin of Mewtwo, nor the reason why Mewtwo did what he did. So, he can't forgive Mewtwo for what he did. Did you let them go? That's right. My Pokémon. My friends. Let me protect them. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaozhi turned the brim of his hat to the back of his head, and then rushed out suddenly. At this time, the image suddenly paused, and several lines of text appeared on the image. Random Q&A. Facing Xiaozhi's attack, what is Mewtwo's response? Open black lens bracket A. As if it were nothing. Close black lens bracket. B. Confusion controls and throws it out. C. I was so scared that I opened the protective cover. Close black lens bracket. D. Let the surrounding Pokémon block him. Close black lens bracket. The answer time is 2 minutes, this time it is a rush answer mode. The answer is here. At the very beginning, Tiandao inventory mentioned that there is a question answering model. It's just that the answers to the last inventory were not published, so everyone almost forgot about it. Seeing the 4 options, Lance's face darkened at first. He is a real victim of failure in answering questions. Last time I chose the most likely option, but I still got the wrong answer. It's so shocking that he can't even use Dragonite to fight, although he hasn't played any games during this period. After all, his 8 masters have already finished in the quarterfinals. But this does not prevent him from having a psychological shadow on answering questions. Really, whoever likes to answer can answer. Diantha. Eliminate C first. Are you so scared that you open the shield? Tiandao inventory is trying to scare us, right? Dandy. Indeed, even if Xiaozhi's power is really strong, but, scaring a high-level legendary beast into opening its shield, this would be too. Red. Just to remind you, Mewtwo on the screen does not actually reach the level of a first-level god. From a rough look, he should be regarded as a second-level god. Close black lens bracket. Red. He is the same as my Mewtwo. In fact, he was born not long ago, and his own power has not been fully controlled and developed. It is natural that he does not have the power of a first-level god. Close black lens bracket. Alder. Even so, it's impossible for Jitaro's power to scare Mewtwo into opening the shield, right? How can Jitaro's physical strength be so strong? Close black lens bracket. Bruno. Well, based on my experience, I can't tell the depth of Xiaozhi's power, but I want to scare a legendary Pokémon that is shaking up the world into opening its shield. Haha, that's a bit of a fantasy. Hot knowledge. In the second theatrical version of Mewtwo Returns, Giovanni said that Mewtwo's power has increased a lot, so it can be speculated that the current Mewtwo is not actually a complete body. Everyone rejected option C, so only ABD was left. Professor Oak. A and D are actually unlikely. Mewtwo is a proud Pokémon. He will not let other Pokémon step in to block the gun, let alone let humans touch him. Closing square bracket. Cynthia. Yes, it can be seen from the previous performance that Mewtwo also likes to use confusion to infer people. Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. So, the answer is B. Diantha. It's almost the same, everyone, it's time to compete with hand speed. Close black lens bracket. Damalanchi. No one can compete with me in hand speed. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. But President, you have never failed to answer a question before. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Damalanchi. Close black lens bracket. Do you also know that I am the president? You know I'm the president and you're trying to tear me down. Believe it or not, I fired you, Elite 4. Okay, it seems like the Elite 4 positions are not under his control, that's too sloppy. Damalanchi silently stopped making any sound, and just kept tapping the answer button in front of him with his fingers. This time, he will definitely get a place to answer the question. Soon, the 2 minutes are up. Everyone presses the answer button immediately. The person who gets to answer the question is open black lens bracket answer. Mewtwo, close black lens bracket. Audiences. Many champions. Chimong. A truth never imagined. How come Mewtwo can answer the questions too? No, I should say. Mewtwo actually has a screen image showing the inventory. When the Tiandao inventory came out, the elite champions in each region had already investigated it. The inventory screen will only appear in front of humans. It will not appear in front of Pokémon. Advertisement. However, it seems that there are no such examples before. Xiaozhi. Actually, when I was taking stock of my bond with Sceptile, an image also appeared in front of Trico. This is what Trico told me. Close black lens bracket. Wallace. I see. So the Tiandao inventory screen will show the Pokémon that appear in the inventory, right? Close black lens bracket. Catalya. In other words, when taking stock of Sceptile, the screen appeared in front of Trico, and when taking stock of Mewtwo, the screen appeared in front of Mewtwo in the real world, right? Cynthia. In fact, we already knew about this before, but we were surprised. Mewtwo actually chose to answer the question. And, Tiandao inventory did not prohibit Mewtwo from answering the question. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia and other champions because they were with Xiaozhi before. So I know a lot more than the elites who haven't come here. About the screen appearing in front of the Pokémon they already knew. So they were surprised. Mewtwo could answer the questions. Let's not talk about whether it is reasonable for Pokémon to answer the questions. It is just a problem with the design of Mewtwo. It is already unreasonable for Mewtwo to be able to answer the questions. And at Clear Cliff, Mewtwo was also very surprised that he got the right to answer the question. After all, he had seen before that the Rockets trio could not answer questions about themselves. Is this a blessing from heaven? But, in front of the whole world, tell the whole world that I am actually afraid of Xiaozhi's fist. To be honest, it's really embarrassing. But, only he knew the situation at that time. If the shield is not turned on, then one punch, he might die. The answer are Mewtwo's choice is C. Mewtwo chose C. He was so scared that he opened the protective shield. Audiences around the world, red dream, silence, accept silence or silence. Mewtwo actually opened the protective shield out of fear of Xiaozhi. Seriously, this is the first option to be dispatched. Even if Xiaozhi is a mega and a true rookie, even if he is unparalleled in Machamp, he can even unleash his skills. But who is Mewtwo? It has the godhead of a high-level legend and the combat power of a second-level god. He was so scared by a human that he opened the shield. Kai Meng. It's such a shame for Mewtwo, please retreat. Kai Meng couldn't help complaining in Kai Hong's heart. Please. Who is he? Mewtwo. Move your hands, Mewtwo. The wind and clouds surge, and the color of the world changes. In one thought, Mewtwo turned the world upside down. Being scared by a human being and opening the protective shield. What should I say about him? I'm obviously very strong, but am I too cautious? In everyone's disbelieving eyes, Tiandao took stock and announced the answer. Open black lens bracket Mewtwo. The answer is correct. Close black lens bracket. Reward. The right to dominate the Clear Cliff area. The right to speak on the barrage. It turns out, it's really right. Although the audience knows that Mewtwo, as the person involved, definitely knows the answer. But this answer is so outrageous. Many people can't believe it. But now it seems, you have to believe it even if you don't believe it. Yulongdu. What thing? Xiaozhi forced Mewtwo to open his shield with one punch. Is he a monster? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. I have one thing to say. If trainer can fight, the world's #1 trainer, I don't think anyone needs to fight. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. Haha, if trainer enters the battle, I will give up directly against Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. The undefeated King Dan Emperor simply gave up on himself. Can you blame him for giving up on himself? No way. Who is Xiaozhi? He punches Mewtwo. Who is he? He punches Geodude at most. Didn't trainer just admit defeat in the last game and wait to be beaten to death by the opponent? But the good thing is, trainers can't play. Alder. Speaking of which, the second one of Mewtwo's rewards is easy to understand, but what is the first one? Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Clear Cliff seems to be a famous scenic spot in the Johto region. Why should the control over there be given to Mewtwo? In the end, what does this control mean? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. Could it be that? Close black lens bracket. An idea came to Cynthia's mind. Mewtwo is probably in Clear Cliff right now. It's just that she didn't say this idea out loud. After all, there are a lot of people in the world who are eyeing Mewtwo now. Clear Cliff. A ray of light enveloped Mewtwo. After a moment, the light dissipated, and the surrounding elves looked at their creator curiously. Just what happened? Mewtwo looked at his hands in disbelief. Just now Tiandao inventory distributed the rewards to him, and he really felt the effect of the rewards. Now the entire Qingcheng Cliff is under his control. It can be said that he is the only controller of Qingcheng Cliff. The only one. God. Every move in Clear Cliff is under his surveillance. And everyone and everything that comes to this area is under his control. He can make people die with just one thought, and make people leave with just one thought. In other words, no one can threaten him and his partners in this Clear Cliff. 0. Please give me flowers. 0. That is, those copied Pokémon. Copying Pokémon has always been Mewtwo's worry. Since they were created by him. Then he will be responsible for those cloned Pokémon. He who is not afraid of any threats also has weaknesses. But now, his weakness no longer exists. Advertisement. Inventory of the Way of Heaven. ... Thanks. Mewtwo looked at the screen in front of him and said silently. In the image. As Mewtwo's answer ended, the images continued to flow. If the hat is turned upside down, no one will love it. Xiaozhi, who was wearing his hat backwards, rushed out first. His speed was not normal either. In just a few seconds, Xiaozhi arrived in front of Mewtwo, and then waved his fist fiercely. The small fist cuts through the air, with a slight roaring sound. Mewtwo's eyes, which were originally indifferent, suddenly became serious. All the nerves in his body were telling him, danger. Extreme danger. Following his instinct, he instantly opened the super barrier. Boom. Quote. Xiaozhi punched Mewtwo's barrier. Cracks like spider web normal instantly filled the barrier. A drop of sweat fell involuntarily on Mewtwo's forehead. Who is this kid? Open black lens bracket Kato. Close black lens bracket. B. Open black lens bracket Catalia. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Sabrina. Close black lens bracket. G. Master Fighting and Super Master were silent after watching this. It turns out that we really need to drive a barrier. Barrier, which is completely unaffected by Charizard's flamethrower and Gyarados' destructive death ray. Xiaozhi punched him and cracked him. 0. Turtle. What the hell? This is too outrageous. No wonder Mewtwo was so scared that he opened the barrier. After all, if this punch goes down, if Mewtwo doesn't open the barrier, he might die. Is this definitely an attack by humans? Is this the real comparison between a mortal and a god? It's even more outrageous than Groudon flying. Yulongdu. I have always overestimated Xiaozhi's physique. But I didn't expect. I ended up underestimating it. Cynthia. As this, Xiaozhi. How could Xiaozhi burst out with such power? Even if there have been many superhuman actions in the past, this time it is too exaggerated. Close black lens bracket. Bruno. I can't understand, but I'm shocked. Xiaozhi, please teach me this trick when you go back. Close black lens bracket. Catalia. I am also a psychic. And my psychic is already comparable to elite. But even if I attack that shield with all my psychic, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do. 'Cause every bit of damage. Sabrina. I'm about the same. Mewtwo's psychic is really strong. I'm willing to lose, but Xiaozhi, why didn't you show that kind of power when you fought me? If Xiaozhi's physical strength was that exaggerated. Even if Sabrina wanted to control Xiaozhi, she probably wouldn't be able to. After all, psychic's confusion is not omnipotent. If the opponent's physical strength is strong enough, it's not a problem to just force it away. Xiaozhi. I'm unreasonable. Maybe I was so angry that I burst out with that kind of power for Pokémon. Close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi. Look, Pikachu can burst into despair for me, Volt. It makes sense for me to burst out with this kind of power for Pikachu and the others, right? Close black lens bracket. Well, it makes sense. What a ghost. It doesn't fit in at all, okay. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. The person who fights, Crimson, at this time beads of sweat dripped from his forehead involuntarily. What kind of monster is his counterpart in the parallel world? One punch shattered the super barrier of the second level god. This is simply not a power that humans can unleash, is it? I was wrong. I have to apologize to the other me. It turns out it's not his problem, it's my problem. With that punch, if the other me didn't open the barrier, I might not be able to fight now. Kai Meng's mouth twitched inside the Ultra Ball. I never expected that the clown would be myself. It's not that you are overly cautious, but that you instinctively sense a sense of crisis. If Trainer could play against him, there would probably be nothing wrong with that Dan Emperor in the world now. Quote. Shihong couldn't help but complained in her heart. Don't talk about Dan Emperor, see if Dan Emperor's Charizard can withstand this punch. Dandy said he was sorry. Single quote. Everyone else sitting in the backyard, except Delia, stared at the scene in the video with their mouths open. This is Xiaozhi. They know Xiaozhi. The painting style is completely different. Gary coughed lightly. Xiaozhi, I've never done anything sorry to you, right? Ah, you've done so many things to make me sorry. Gary. Mao Mao was silent. Sure enough, it would be better to provoke Xiaozhi less in the future. Otherwise, he could just change his rival. Treating this guy as a powerful enemy, you have to worry about your own life every day. Just give him a punch and he will go straight to the sky. Damn it, why did I write too much? I thought I could finish the first part of the Mewtwo chapter in 3 or 4 chapters, but I ended up writing 5 or 6 chapters, maybe I complained too much. If it's too much, reduce it later. Just complain. Kai. Chapter 131. The mortal body resists the two gods. Xiaozhi has colds again. Advertisement. Clear cliff. Mewtwo looked at the cracked super barrier in the image, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. Even though I have already experienced it, watching it for the second time is still extraordinary. How does the human body get exercised? But next, he may start to do very extreme things. Are you showing me this image again to make me feel guilty? In the image, Xiaozhi, who shattered the shield with one punch, was also bounced by the shield and flew to the ground. But in less than a second, Xiaozhi bounced up on the spot and charged again. Only this time, Mewtwo was obviously on guard. Mewtwo raised his palm and Xiaozhi was lifted up. This kid is too scary. Keeping him in the world will definitely threaten his status as the strongest Pokémon. The second son must not be kept. Laugh. Mewtwo controlled confusion and directly flew Xiaozhi away. This time, Xiaozhi was thrown directly into the sky more than 10 meters away. And at this speed, Xiaozhi will hit the top railing of the castle directly. If you bump into it and fall from a distance of more than 10 meters. Even with Mega's true rookie physique, he would probably be seriously injured. At this moment, a pink bubble appeared behind Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi bounced on the soft bubbles and then slowly slid down to a platform at the top of the castle. What happened? Mewtwo looked at the pink bubbles, a look of uncertainty flashed in his eyes. Who saved that kid? Why didn't he sense it? Then, a pink figure like a cat normal appeared in front of Xiaozhi. Started playing with Xiaozhi as if no one else was around. This Pokémon is Mew. Open black lens bracket unyielding. Mew is here, close black lens bracket. Brandon. Is this considered a pirated version meeting the original version? Steven. Wrong. Strictly speaking, Mew is Mewtwo's father and mother. In other words, he is my young father. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. Brandon. What do you mean? Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Steven means your father is here. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. X. Open black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. Wow, Sao. I forgot that the real owner is here to take a look. What should I do if MMP is targeted by a high-level legendary beast? Wait online. Urgent. Cynthia. Haha, you said bad things about others behind their backs and others saw it. Diantha. Hey, men will seek death till death. Mewtwo, don't give us Pokemon Alliance face, they. Yulongdu. Hey, hey, hey. Don't slander us. We were just joking. Right, Steven, we were joking. Close black lens bracket. Steven. Yes, yes. Don't mind Mewtwo. We were just joking. You can't take a joke, right? Close black lens bracket. Mewtwo. After the inventory is over, I will go find you. I just want to try the strength of the Alliance champion. Close black lens bracket. Now even if Mewtwo leaves Clear Cliff, every move of Clear Cliff is still under his control. In other words, he is free. Not only can he go to those champions who slandered him. You can also go find the trainer he likes. Xiaozhi. Lance and Steven, who were in Galar, wiped the sweat from their faces. No, Kristoff will have to go up to Xiaozhi's side tomorrow. There is Qihong around Xiaozhi. And now that Xiaozhi is okay, it means that Mewtwo and Xiaozhi have a certain friendship. With Xiaozhi, you should be safe. Image 1. After Mew appeared, Mewtwo began to attack it directly. After several unsuccessful attacks, Mew appeared in front of Mewtwo with a confused look on his face. He didn't know why this Pokémon was attacking him. Mew was a simple-minded person with a gentle personality and didn't like to fight. Even though Mewtwo kept attacking with Shadow Ball, he didn't fight back. Seeing that Mew was only a few meters away from him, Mewtwo couldn't help but speak. Mew, humans say you are the strongest Pokémon in the world. And I was indeed created using your genes. But now, I am the world's mightiest Pokémon. Because my name is Mewtwo. The meaning is to surpass Mew. So now, I am the real thing. And you are the pirated version. Between you and me, only one can survive. Squirtle on the side opened his eyes wide, as if he heard something extraordinary. Normal. Turtle shocked.jpg. It turns out that such a powerful Pokémon is also a replica. Professor Oak. Giovanni, are you watching? Why don't you go back to Pokémon Academy and retake it? It's not a shame. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Haha, Mew is the strongest Pokémon in the world. You really don't take other high-level legendaries seriously. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. This fully illustrates how important a good education is. Bruno. At Giovanni, are you watching? Take a look at what you are teaching. Close black lens bracket. Even Professor Oak couldn't stand it anymore and laughed directly on the public screen. Mew is the world's mightiest Pokémon. You don't need to think about it to know this. Giovanni must have told Mewtwo this knowledge. But, Mew is the strongest Pokémon. He is the most mysterious Pokémon. Advertisement. Except for Arceus, whom he has never met, Mew is the one who least appears in people's sight. So it's no problem to say that it is one of the most mysterious Pokémon. The strongest one hasn't woken up, right? Team Rocket headquarters. Kakaka. Giovanni clenched his hands into fists and kept making the sound of bones cracking. Endure. You have to endure it. If you go out now, you can't surpass Oak and all those champions. It will even reveal a lot of your own intentions, so, endure it. A bunch of vulgar people. What a fool. Do you know what it means to build self-confidence? Without self-confidence, how can Mewtwo grow? Tell him that the source of his creation is the world's mightiest Pokémon, and then say that he is the strongest beyond the world's mightiest, so that he will work hard for Team Rocket and grow up. A bunch of idiots don't understand anything. Giovanni secretly slandered in his heart. According to his thoughts, this is indeed the case. But who would have thought that Mewtwo was born to be rebellious and directly defected to Team Rocket? The word, not defecting, is a bit inaccurate. To be precise, after destroying Rocket Hideout, Xiaoxia left. Boss Giovanni, that guy from Oak actually slandered you like this. Do you want us to Archer made a motion of slitting his throat. Giovanni looked at him like a fool. Go now, Chihong is by Samuel Oak's side, don't come back until you get his head. Understand? Archer, what a shame, I am loyal to you, but you want my life. At this time, shouldn't you try to comfort me and let it go? In the end, Ariana came out to smooth things over. Giovanni also slowly calmed down his anger and continued to look at the image. He thought about what happened next. And where did Mewtwo go? I wonder if this inventory video will be broadcast. In image, after yelling angrily at Mew, Mew still had a simple and questioning face. Doesn't seem to understand what Mewtwo means. Mewtwo looked at Mew's appearance and was furious. What he cares about, the other party doesn't feel at all. Sure enough. Only one of us can survive. Let's fight Mew. With that said, Mewtwo threw a shadow ball again. Mew's figure surged, and a teleport dodged the powerful shadow ball. The ensuing battle was basically Mew's unilateral dodge, while Mewtwo kept attacking. Why do you keep dodging? Are you afraid of me? Mew still had the same expression of pure confusion, as if he was saying, why are you hitting me? Give me, fight back. Mewtwo is like a machine gun, firing shadow balls like crazy. Prince's tactics. However, they were all dodged by Mew. He even had the intention to cover his mouth and chuckle. This made Mewtwo even more annoyed. The two sides are constantly chasing each other and soaring in the sky. Flying over the castle sky. Flying over the rolling ocean. Mythical beasts are so powerful. They can fly without flying skills. After all, it's a mythical beast. Normal mythical beasts can fly, right? Absolutely. How can there be a flightless mythical beast in the world? The melon-eating people in the real world watch it with gusto. Air combat is interesting. Finally, after constant attacks, he was accidentally hit by Mewtwo's shadow ball. A contemptuous smile appeared on Mewtwo's lips. Now, it depends on whether you can hold on. Then the next moment, a huge pink energy ball struck instantly. But in the blink of an eye, he was in front of Mewtwo. Boom. A huge explosion sounded and soaring in the sky. Haze filled the air. This is just right. The smoke slowly dissipated, and the shield covered with dense cracks wrapped around Mewtwo. At the critical moment just now, Mewtwo opened his shield, otherwise this time, he might be seriously injured. Yulongdu. Look at this crack. It feels like there are a little more cracks than Xiaozhi's. Dandy. I understand, Mew is a little stronger than Xiaozhi, but limited. What a ghost, what happened to this world? Cynthia. Without comparison, there is no harm. Now we know the true extent of Xiaozhi's punch just now. Bruno. Accept me as your disciple, Xiaozhi. I'll just learn that one punch, I won't learn anything else. Close black lens bracket. Lian Wu. Recruit a disciple +1. Kaidu. Accepting a disciple +1. Open black lens bracket Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. I'm speechless, my family, I don't know how. I don't have any impression of that punch at all. Image 1. Mew flew from the clouds at high speed and looked at Mewtwo angrily. I'm joking with you and you actually want to kill me? Let's have a showdown. Mewtwo slowly floated onto his clone army. Let's see who's the real deal. Let's see if your original bodies can beat the clones I made. Humans use cloning technology to create us just to make us stronger than our original bodies. We are the real thing. Advertisement. This time Mew finally listened carefully. He kept spinning in midair and talking about something. Meow meow, meow, meow. The viewers watching were confused. What are you saying? Are you talking about what Mewtwo said? At this time, in the video, Meowth, who was hiding in the rocket trio, spoke. What Mew said makes sense, NYA. He said, the main body will never lose, it's true. If Fang doesn't use moves and relies purely on physical collision, the original body will never lose to the replica. Audiences. This little guy was speechless, and his speech was astonishing. This is completely offending Mewtwo to death. You know, this is what Mewtwo cares about most now. And Mew's direct words didn't make Mewtwo angry. Sure enough, Mewtwo laughed angrily. Is it really true? Then he threw a shadow ball without hesitation. Mew dodged instantly. But the shadow ball hit the elevated structure behind where Xiaozhi was. The elevated structure was directly smashed to pieces. Xiaozhi almost fell off. Fortunately, he had quick eyesight and quick hands and grabbed the edge, and the group survived. Xiaozhi. Do you think you are very humorous? Mewtwo waved his arm, and his telepathy echoed throughout the audience. Then let's fight without using any moves. Let's see who is the real deal, who is the stronger side. Asterisk backquote hydrogen oxide. All the Pokémon in the audience roared at each other, and then rushed to the doctor together. In an instant, all the Pokémon collided together. The claws, tail, and body are all turned into attack weapons. Mewtwo and Mew also directly covered their bodies with a layer of protective shields, tackle each other. Not just Pokémon, they don't use moves to fight either. The original body and the replica are constantly competing with each other in the flesh. The most classic of them all is Psyduck. The only difference between Misty's Psyduck and the copied Psyduck is that the copied Psyduck's eyes are more fierce. But both Psyducks look stupid, even when they fight. Copy Psyduck slapped Misty Psyduck, then held his head and tilted his head. And Misty Psyduck gave the other party a slap in the face in turn. Then she held her head and tilted her head. These two Psyducks look very smart at first glance. Professor Oak backyard. Misty looked at Psyduck's appearance on the screen and couldn't help but cover her face. This silly duck. Why does he act so silly everywhere? Even the clone is silly. Psyduck, who was released by Misty, tilted his head and looked at himself in the image, with a look of wisdom in his eyes. In the image, Xiaozhi kept assisting the surrounding buildings, and finally made it all the way from the top of the castle to the ground. During this period, he even accidentally fell from a height of 5 to 6 meters, but nothing happened to him. This once again proves how powerful Mega's real rookie's physique is. Xiaozhi came to the ground and stood together with Misty Xiaoging. Looking at the many Pokémon fighting together, including Squirtle, Charizard, Bulbasaur, and his Pikachu, was the only one in the audience who didn't fight back when being hit by the clone. Why? Why do you have to fight? Whether it is the original body or the replica, since they exist in this world, aren't they all alive? It would be too ridiculous to fight and die for such a reason. Everyone, stop fighting. Nurse Joy looked at Mewtwo and Mew, who were constantly fighting in Sky, and said slightly sadly. The ones leading them now are Mewtwo and Mew. As long as they don't stop, the two sides will fight to the death. Xiaozhi. Boom. Soaring in the sky, the battle between Mewtwo and Mew continues. The two sides fight from the sea to the sky. Fight all the way back from high altitude to the Pokémon City Stadium. The aftermath of the huge explosion shattered the surrounding lights. The Pokémon that were fighting but had little energy left were directly hit by Mewtwo and Mew's aftermath whirlwind. Everyone is already scarred. If this fight continues, sooner or later one of them will die. Yulongdu. I don't know how Xiaozhi is going to stop Mewtwo and Mew. Dandy. I can't imagine that a battle between two almost level 1 divine Pokémon cannot be stopped by a trainer who has just been out for half a year. But Xiaozhi's words. Abel. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, Alder. Come on, Tomorrow, close black lens bracket in the image. Mewtwo and Mew collided again, and neither one could do anything to the other. Afterwards, both sides began to accumulate strength at the same time. They were about to start using moves. And it's an extremely powerful move. Once it collides, the entire Pokémon Johto region may be destroyed by the aftermath. Chi chi chi. Boom, pink energy beams and purple energy beams burst out at the same time. At this moment, a figure rushed into the middle of the two energy waves. Xiaozhi. At this most critical moment, Xiaozhi stood up again. However, the price he had to pay for standing up this time was probably his life. Chapter 132. That day, Xiaozhi turned into light. The power of Ho-Oh exists in Xiaozhi's body? Advertisement in the image. Xiaozhi charged forward bravely and without hesitation, standing between two energy beams that could destroy the world. All the terrifying energy was poured into Xiaozhi's body. Xiaozhi felt like he was being torn apart. Normal. Then he completely lost consciousness. In full view of everyone, Xiaozhi completely absorbed the two powers that could destroy the entire Pokémon City into his body. No one knows what the principle is, but Xiaozhi just absorbed it. The two forces wreak havoc in Xiaozhi's body. Finally, Xiaozhi turned into a stone statue due to the strange changes caused by the two forces. For an instant, the entire scene was extremely silent. Even Mewtwo's eyes widened and he looked at Xiaozhi, who turned into a stone statue in disbelief and murmured to himself. How is it possible? Why would he, a human being, intervene in the battle between me and you? He even risked his own life. Aren't humans all selfish species? Mew also looked at Xiaozhi blankly. To be honest, this young man exuded a wave of energy that he liked. That's a powerful waveguide, but now, this human being has no trace of waveguide anymore. In other words, this boy is dead. Sinnoh region, Twinleaf Town. Dawn hugged the pillow in her arms tightly, her face full of disbelief, and she muttered. It'll be okay. He's Xiaozhi. No problem. It must be okay. Dumb tape. Even so, her hand holding the pillow got closer and closer. Dawn's mother, Johanna, leaned against the wall in the corridor, quietly watching Dawn's performance. This girl. She's been feeling weird lately, although she also felt sorry for the young man who took many adventures. It pales in comparison to Dawn's reaction. No way. Hoenn region, Pelebird Gym. Ah. Sister, what are you doing? Scared me. Xiao Sheng still had a look of shock on his face. It was already scary enough to see Xiaozhi being hit by two terrifying energies and turned into a stone statue. His sister suddenly screamed, scared to death. No. No, it's okay. Mei hesitated, but couldn't restrain the panic in her eyes. Xiaozhi turned into stone. Last time, it dissipated in the wind. This time, it turned into stone. Both deaths were for Pokémon. Her guide. What kind of magical man is he? Xiaozhi. You won't fall down like this, right? After all, you will take me on a trip to Hoenn in the future. If you leave, who will take me on a trip? Kalos region, Veneval Town. Shali 440 Na watched Xiaozhi turn into a stone statue, and her heart suddenly tightened. She immediately took the quick-acting heart-saving pill in her hand. Otherwise she might faint. Alola region, everyone who is related to Xiaozhi has their pupils enlarged and their heartbeats quickened. Because Xiaozhi fell down again, everyone has forgotten that this is actually something Xiaozhi has experienced before. Now that Xiaozhi is fine, it means that Xiaozhi in the image will definitely be fine in the end. However, most people don't think that much. After seeing Xiaozhi sacrifice himself for the Pokémon again, they were not only sad. I am also feeling emotional about Xiaozhi's great benevolence and love. He sacrificed himself for Pikachu before, but what about this time? This time it's for the cloned Pokémon you're meeting for the first time, and other people's Pokémon. This is the real kind person. As I have said before, there are only a few people in the world who can love Pokémon as much as Xiaozhi. Now it seems that it is not that there are not many, but that only Xiaozhi can do it. Counting parallel worlds, this is the second time Xiaozhi has died. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Mom, am I okay? Don't cry. It's okay. You know it's okay all day long. Have you ever thought about how your mother feels? Your mother doesn't care about you when you go out to explore and take risks, but you can't take the initiative to die. Your dad has been away all year round and hasn't even called a single phone call. What if you leave? What will mom do in the future? Xiaozhi. It can't be said, Delia just kept scolding him after seeing him turn into a stone statue. There's no way to refute it. After all, it was indeed his impulse first, and he really died together. Even if he is still sitting here alive now, he can't help but feel scared for a while. Why is he so brave? Being scolded, Xiaozhi kept winking at Misty, Xiaogang and Gary, signaling for them to save him. The three of them just pretended not to see it. Save? Don't let them get involved. That's the truth. Advertisement the way Delia is now, Elite will continue to scold her even if she comes here. In the image, as Xiaozhi turned into a stone statue and died, the surrounding Pokémon, including Mewtwo, stopped fighting. Now Xiaozhi is the focus of the audience. He sacrificed his life for the sake of the many Pokémon he had never met, and for the newly born cloned Pokémon. Pikachu walked to Xiaozhi with staggering steps and called Xiaozhi. However, no voice responded to him. Pikachu equals Xiaozhi. No matter how much Pikachu shouts in response to his voice, it will never ring again. Pikachu. As if he thought of something, golden electricity burst out from Pikachu's body. A huge current was transmitted to Xiaozhi's body. This is how Pikachu wakes Xiaozhi up when he occasionally sleeps in. In the past, Xiaozhi would jump up and shout, "Good." But this time Xiaozhi had no response. Pikachu. Once, twice, 10 times. No matter how Pikachu increases the power, no matter what kind of thunder and lightning Pikachu uses, thunder shocked Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi didn't even react at all. Finally, Pikachu's power ran out, and he finally recognized the reality. His trainer was gone. Pikachu. Big tears fell from Pikachu's clear eyes, turning into 2 lines of clear tears. Pikachu. Pikachu kept choking and calling Xiaozhi, but still no one responded. Roar. Jenny. Dana. All the Pokémon present, whether they were Xiaozhi's Pokémon or not, started shouting Xiaozhi. Pokémon are highly intelligent and spiritual creatures. In addition to not being able to speak human language, most of their IQs are no lower than humans. So they knew that it was the human who fell to the ground and turned into a stone statue who saved them. Stop this war normals battle. Everyone shouted Xiaozhi's name, and tears began to flow slowly. They were sad for Xiaozhi's departure and grateful for what Xiaozhi had done. All they can do now is shout Xiaozhi's name along with Pikachu. Let's see if a miracle happens. This touching scene was also seen by many viewers who watched the video. Many people were already immersed in the sadness of Xiaozhi's death, but now after seeing even Pokémon shed tears. Many viewers who loved Xiaozhi and became fans of Xiaozhi finally came to their senses and shed tears of sadness. Xiaozhi. Don't leave, Xiaozhi, brother Xiaozhi. How can I live without you? Brother Xiaozhi. Come back quickly, we also want to see you punch Mew and kick Mewtwo. In the image, under the cries and tears of many Pokémon, miracles are quietly happening. The tears of all the Pokémon turned into little bits of light, like the only starlight in the darkness, normal, gathered towards Xiaozhi. Pikachu was still sobbing, until the tears turned into starlight, and the starlight turned into nebulae. Pikachu finally found out. Pick up. With tears hanging from the corners of his eyes, Pikachu watched helplessly as all the tears poured into Xiaozhi's body. Xiaozhi, who turned into a stone statue, slowly began to shine. There is only one way to revive Xiaozhi: boil his tears into soup. Ahem, excuse me. To be honest, I was quite touched when I saw this. The Pokémon who met Xiaozhi for the first time and were almost strangers also shed sad tears for Xiaozhi. It is precisely because of this that Xiaozhi can be resurrected. When all the tears poured into Xiaozhi's body, Xiaozhi's stone statue body has turned into a dazzling light bulb. That day, Xiaozhi turned into light, with the influx of Pikachu's tears at the end, on the dim and dark sky. Suddenly, a huge hole was opened, and a dazzling beam of light shone into the middle of the stadium. It just shines on Xiaozhi. Under the influence of various mysterious forces, Xiaozhi's stone statue body, transformed by the synthesis of two terrifying forces, began to revive. After a few seconds, the blue light turned into tears slowly dissipated, and Xiaozhi's body returned to its normal appearance. Even my body, which was bruised and bruised from climbing all over Pokemon City, has returned to normal. Pikachu? Xiaozhi stood up and immediately saw Pikachu standing in front of him. Although he turned into a stone statue, he seemed to clearly remember what happened when he turned into a stone statue. Including the two sides stopped fighting, including Pikachu constantly using Thunder Shock to revive him. Sorry Pikachu, I made you worry. Xiaozhi hugged Pikachu tightly in his arms, and responded to Xiaozhi with Pikachu's happy smile and voice. Pikapi. You long do. Tears? Xiaozhi gave up his life for those Pokemon. Correspondingly, the tears of those Pokemon also saved Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, Cynthia. This shows that Xiaozhi's efforts are not in vain. What he has given will be rewarded in the end. After risking his life to stop the struggle, Xiaozhi was finally rescued by everyone who fought. Diantha. No matter how many times I watch it, I still want to sigh. What a magical boy. With him around, it seems that the impossible becomes possible. Close black lens bracket. Alder. So I say that Chitaro's level of legend is no worse than that of Red. Just because of his love for Pokemon, I believe that he will definitely realize his dream in the future. Become the world's best Pokemon master. Professor Bratano. Speaking of which, what is the principle of this? Do Pokemon's tears contain the power of life? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Regarding this, it is probably related to Ho-Oh. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak has it in mind. A little guessing, the light that finally shined in was definitely not the normal light. Professor Oak. Xiaozhi in this world actually met Ho-Oh on the first day. It's just that he didn't get the rainbow wing, but that doesn't mean he didn't get the blessing of Ho-Oh. If you think about it carefully, if you were hit by two superpowers that were close to a first-level god, a normal person would have been shattered to pieces. And Xiaozhi just turned into a stone statue. This is probably because the power of Ho-Oh protected Xiaozhi's body and soul. Later, I will assist everyone to express their gratitude to Xiaozhi in tears. Sadness and other magical emotional power to activate the power of Ho-Oh in the body. Finally, there's the light shining in. It's probably Ho-Oh's handiwork. Of course, I'm just guessing. I'm afraid no one knows whether it's true or not. Speaking of resurrection, Professor Oak naturally thought of Ho-Oh. In addition, Xiaozhi also met Ho-Oh in this world, so Professor Oak made such a guess. As for whether it is true or false, it doesn't matter anymore, because Xiaozhi has been resurrected. Image 1. Seeing one person and one mouse enjoying each other happily, Mewtwo slowly floated to Mew's side. The young man is right. What's the difference between a replica and an authentic product? We are all living beings. We are all Pokemon. I didn't expect. I would ask this young man to tell me this. Seeing that Mewtwo was no longer stubborn, Mew wisely did not attack him with any words. Otherwise, if Mew says, the real thing is the real thing, I'm afraid Mewtwo will have to counterattack again. Perhaps it's better not to let others know about the things here. Perhaps, it would be best if everyone forgets what happened here. Thank you, young man. You told me that life should have its meaning. I hope you can always maintain this good attitude of loving all life. If we have a chance, let's meet again. Wonderful. Mew nodded in agreement. After the fight, Mew seemed to have become Mewtwo's lil follower. Whatever Mewtwo said, he nodded in agreement and that was it. The voice of telepathy slowly dissipated in everyone's hearts. All the replicas flew up under the confusion of Mewtwo and Mew. Where are you going? Xiaozhi couldn't help but ask Mewtwo. At this time, Giovanni and everyone from Team Rocket were watching. Even all the villains in the world began to P*******k up their ears and listen carefully. After all, this is a second-level god, and he will eventually grow into a first-level god. And maybe it even comes with a Mew. If we catch them all, they will be released. We are going to the world that belongs to us. After saying that, Mewtwo and Mew took all the copied Pokemon and took off into the sky. Many villains. What you said is the same as what you didn't say. Xiaozhi and others in Pokemon City watched Mewtwo and the others drift away. And beneath their feet, even the entire Pokemon City, and the entire Kanto region shone with dazzling light. After the light slowly dissipated, the image turned to everyone south of the Pokemon Center again. Peer managers Miss Bogia and Miss Junsha were still stopping everyone and telling them not to go outside. There is a hurricane raining outside, just when many people thought it was a mistake. Nurse Joy, who was not supposed to be at the Pokemon Center, also came forward to comfort everyone. It's said that the Pokemon Center can be used as a shelter for everyone to take temporary refuge. And Xiaozhi and others also appeared in the video. But they didn't know why they suddenly arrived at the Pokemon Center at the pier. What kind of rebroadcast is this? This is going back in time and erasing memories. You Longdu. Wakao, turn back time. Can Mewtwo do such a thing? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. Dialga. Wonderful. Close black lens bracket, Chihong. I asked my Mewtwo, he can't turn back time. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Since you don't know the reason, why not ask the magical Mewtwo? At Mewtwo close black lens bracket. Everyone looked at Diantha's words and instantly remembered. Mewtwo can now also launch barrages. It's just, will that surly Mewtwo really answer Diantha's question? P.S. This statement about the power of Ho-Oh seems to be an urban legend that existed a long time ago. I don't know which fan article one saw it in or whether I saw it on the barrage. You don't need to substitute it into a normal movie. After all, I am writing fan fiction, so it is natural to use the power of Ho-Oh to give a reasonable explanation. In addition, I seem to have written another chapter 133. Inventory reward. Mewtwo's exclusive spoon. Pikachu smart skin form. Advertisement, Mewtwo. It wasn't me who did it, it was Mew who did it. He has the genes of all Pokémon in the world. At that time, he turned into a blue Pokémon and appropriated its power. He should be who you were talking about. Dialga. Close black lens bracket. To everyone's surprise, after Diantha liked Mewtwo, Mewtwo actually answered. And the answer is a path that no one has ever imagined. The culprit who turned back time turned out not to be Mewtwo, but Mew. And after Mew turned into Dialga, he used Dialga's history to go back in time. Can Mew, the turtle, turn into a mythical beast? Could it be that Mew is really the strongest mythical beast? The legend of Mew does circulate in this world, but everyone only knows that Mew is a cute phantom Pokémon. As for its abilities, only a few champions elite and the well-known Pokémon professor know about it. Day. Is this Mew, the legendary representative Pokémon of the Kanto region? It can actually transform into the Dialga of the Sinnoh region? This ability is too scary, close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. It's not that, there's no need to mythologize Mew. If we rank it in terms of mystery, Mew is definitely at the top. But in terms of strength, Mew is actually not that strong. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Mew can indeed transform into other legendaries or even high-level legendaries. He can even gain their power. But that's all, he can't use the exclusive skills of other legendary Pokémon, such as Sacred Flame, etc. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. And no matter how Mew changes, his strength will not increase or decrease. It is just a change of form. There is no Pokémon he turns into, and his strength will be upgraded to the same level. Close black lens bracket. Under Professor Oak's explanation, everyone's shocked mental arithmetic slowly came to an end. Being able to transform into any legendary form may sound scary, but, in a one-on-one challenge, Mew may not be able to defeat any high-level legendary, because he has no way to make 370 use legendary Pokémon's exclusive skills. And the intensity of its transformation also depends on his own strength. Mewtwo on Clear Cliff saw Oak's comment and nodded in agreement. Now his power is actually even higher than before. Although it is not as strong as the two gods in Darkrai versus the two gods of time and space in the inventory. But Pokémon at the level of a level 2 god is no longer enough in front of him. As for Mew, his strength is comparable to the second level god of the priesthood, which is who he was on the new island. The original reversal of time and space was indeed achieved by the power of Dialga's law that Mew transformed into. However, even if he transforms into other divine beasts, the fundamental driving force of Mew is still his psychic. Mew alone cannot reverse time on such a large scale. The reason why Mew can do it is naturally due to the power of his Mewtwo. Therefore, Mew's transformation ability sounds very powerful, but as long as he is suppressed in level. So no matter how he changes, it will actually be difficult to defeat a level 1 god in a duel. Of course, Mew's power is not for fighting. In terms of fighting, he is probably ranked last among the mythical beasts. In terms of special abilities, his power may be ranked first among all gods except the so-called creator god. Everyone is discussing the power of Mew in full swing. However, the image is not over yet. In the image, Xiaozhi seemed to suddenly notice something and quickly ran to the dock outside the Pokémon Center. Miraculously, when Xiaozhi ran out of the Pokémon Center, the wild rainstorm outside suddenly stopped. The dark clouds in the sky slowly dispersed, and the first ray of sunshine after the storm shone on the pier. Xiaozhi looked at the clouds, and a figure that looked like a cat kept shelling above the clouds. Look, there seems to be a Pokémon there. Where? Misty and Xiaoging looked in Xiaozhi's direction, but saw nothing. Didn't you see? On the first day of my trip, I met the legendary Pokémon. I seem to have seen it just now. Well, then, maybe we will encounter the legendary fantasy Pokémon again in the future. Misty put her hands behind her back and smiled playfully at Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi looked stunned for a moment, then nodded firmly, and the video ends here, and the story belonging to Xiaozhi and Mewtwo also ends here. Professor Oak and others finally knew why Xiaozhi had met Mewtwo. But can't remember anything, because they all had their memories erased by Mewtwo. Yulongdu. Mewtwo was finally influenced by Xiaozhi's actions. Diantha. Especially. Mewtwo is a very good Pokémon if the person you meet at the beginning is not Giovanni. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Yes, Mewtwo, who was deeply influenced by Giovanni, was moved by Xiaozhi's life-saving act and gave up the counterattack. That shows that Mewtwo's heart is kind. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. But is it really okay to release this unknown story? In this case, Mewtwo will be harassed again. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Don't worry, no one knows where Mewtwo exists now. Even if they know, how many people in this world can do anything to Mewtwo? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia has actually vaguely guessed where Mewtwo is. But she had no intention of disturbing Mewtwo, after all. Mewtwo didn't want the world to find out. This inventory ends here. The next inventory will begin in 10 minutes, so stay tuned. Close black lens bracket. The winners of this review are Mewtwo and Xiaozhi. The rewards will be distributed later, so stay tuned. Close black lens bracket. Hey, that's great. Brother Xiaozhi got a reward again. Mewtwo also gets a reward. Woohoo, I'm jealous. After all, Mewtwo is also one of the protagonists this time. Hey, we ordinary people don't know when we will be on the list. Advertisement. Xiaozhi received another reward, and at the same time, Mewtwo. I don't know what kind of rewards they will get. A few seconds later, a civil servant appeared in the image again. The rewards have been distributed, please check carefully. Close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi's exclusive hat. Mewtwo. Mewtwo's exclusive spoon. Close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi's exclusive hat. You can change the style of the hat according to Xiaozhi's wishes, wear it on Pikachu, and convert Pikachu's form into a smart skin form. Close black lens bracket. Mewtwo's exclusive spoon. After holding it, Mewtwo's growth rate will double, and Psychic will increase by 30%. Close black lens bracket. At the same time, two beams of light shone on Xiaozhi and Mewtwo at the same time. After a while, the light dissipated, and Xiaozhi's hat was still the same. And Mewtwo in Clear Cliff has an extra spoon in his hand. Everyone was silent when they looked at the reward. Those rewards before are still traceable, things that exist in the world. But, what is this? An exclusive hat and an exclusive spoon. It's a prop I've never heard of. In other words, how come there are props for human use? Professor Oak backyard. Everyone came forward curiously and looked at Xiaozhi's hat. I said, Xiaozhi, what's the use of your hat? It's no different from the previous hat. Gary observed for a while, but didn't notice anything at all. What the hell? Why do I feel like this reward is so impractical? No, Gary, look, Xiaozhi retorted, and with a thought, the style of the hat turned into a program for traveling to the Hoenn region. Change it again and it becomes the style of Alola region. For Xiaozhi, this change alone is enough to make him happy. In fact, he quite likes the hat he wore while traveling in the Kanto region. However, after traveling for a long time, the hat has become more and more old and even tattered. I guess that's why he changed his hat, but now, he doesn't need to change his hat anymore. It's quite magical, but what is that smart skin form? Faced with Gary's question, Xiaozhi also expressed that he didn't know. Doesn't GP mean his Pikachu? Why is there still a form? Professor Oak, on the other hand, was thoughtful. Xiaozhi. When you were in Alola region, you put your hat on Pikachu, right? After putting on the hat, Pikachu can not only use the exclusive Z move, but his power seems to have also been enhanced. So, can this hat allow Pikachu to enhance his strength and use the 10 million volt Thunderbolt in advance? Everyone. Really or not, is this hat so powerful? If it's true or false, you'll know if you have a fight with me after the inventory. Chi-Hong said eagerly. Zippy form. 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Alola battle. These are all things he doesn't understand. Even Kai-Hong, who was usually calm, couldn't help but feel a little excited at this time. It's great to be able to come to this world and see so many new things. I really want Qinglu to come and see it, at Clear Cliff. Mewtwo looked at the spoon in his hand, feeling the power in his body increase twice as much, and fell silent. As I said before, his power continued to grow after leaving the new island. It has even reached what people call the first level God realm. But this is not his limit, however, after reaching that state, his growth rate has begun to slow down. If you want to reach the level of the two gods of time and space, it will probably take a lot of time. However, after having this spoon, it's different. It won't take long for him to truly grow to his peak. Within 5 years, coupled with Spoon's 30% psychic increase to him. Once he reaches his peak, he will probably be quite powerful among the first level gods. With him, can I protect them better, and Xiaozhi? Mewtwo tightened his grip on the spoon in his hand. What he was thinking about was not fighting against a strong enemy and proving himself. But, protect others, this is the change Xiaozhi brought to him. But, he would definitely not admit it on the surface if he was so arrogant. Advertisement so, it will take some time to find Xiaozhi. However, the appearance of the next inventory immediately changed her mind. 10 minutes passed quickly, and the second inventory came on time. Because it is not a super large-scale inventory, today's inventory is still 3 games. Open black lens bracket inventory of the story of Xiaozhi and legendary Pokémon, 11, close black lens bracket. The subtitle of this chapter, Mewtwo is back in trouble. There is no guessing mode in this article. There will be a question answering mode, please be prepared. Open black lens bracket now. The video officially begins. Close black lens bracket. After everyone saw the title clearly, they were stunned for a while. Why Mewtwo again? Just now they were saying that the story between Xiaozhi and Mewtwo was over. Xiaozhi even forgot about the existence of Mewtwo, and Mewtwo also found another place to live in seclusion. It is almost impossible for the two parties to meet again. But now it seems. There seems to be some kind of marriage between Mewtwo and Xiaozhi. Normal. Could it be that? Just like Red conquered Mewtwo? Is Xiaozhi also destined to conquer Mewtwo? No, impossible? Everyone quickly shook off the idea when they thought of this possibility. After all, Mewtwo is a high-level legend, or a man-made high-level legend. If Xiaozhi can even conquer the high legends, that would be really incredible. Soon, the video officially started. The person who comes into view on the first day of the new year is the boss of the Rockets, Giovanni. Boss Giovanni and a woman were looking at the huge screen in front of them. Above the screen is a place called Clear Cliff. It is a strange and dangerous place in Johto region, where it is covered with clouds and rain all year round. But now, it is surprisingly sunny. This is also the reason why old Giovanni Conference cares about Clear Cliff. This act of observation by Solacean really made him discover something, or rather, the 10-song Pokémon. Mewtwo. So you went there, Cynthia. Alas, it is indeed the Clear Cliff. Now that the video has been released, all the evil organizations that are spying on Mewtwo should have already begun to prepare for action. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Actually, I guessed it too, but don't panic, don't forget the reward that Tiandao gave Mewtwo just now. Yulongdu. Dominance of Qingqing Cliff. What's the use of that? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Although I don't know what the use is, but the reward from the Tiandao inventory cannot be just a piece of land, right? So I think it must have some magical effect. Close black lens bracket. Mewtwo. Don't worry, even if Clear Cliff is discovered now, no one can do anything here. Here. I am the master. Close black lens bracket. Mewtwo's words were extremely domineering. This also made many evil organizations or Pokemon hunters who wanted to take action dare not act rashly. After reading the inventory first, confirm the information about Qingqing Cliff. In the image, the scene changes to the Clear Cliff. Mewtwo had just used Psychic to disperse the dark clouds on the cliff of Clear Cliff. A beautiful sunset that the world has never seen appeared in front of Mewtwo. This made Mewtwo sigh. Could such a beautiful scene really be enjoyed by his first-generation replica? Then the scene changed again. What appeared in front of the audience was the familiar figure, Xiaozhi and Pikachu 2.4. Beside him are still Misty and Xiaogang, and their clothes are almost the same as Mewtwo's clothes before. After passing through this Clear Cliff, we can reach the next city. Yes, we are one step closer to participating in the Silver Conference. In the conversation between several people, everyone learned that Xiaozhi should have arrived at Johto Region Alliance now. Get ready for the Silver Conference. But Xiaozhi changed his hat and clothes every time he went to a region, but he didn't change them. This left everyone a little confused. Could it be that Johto region and Kanto are too close? By the way, none of the three of them have second sets of clothes? It seems, except for Brother Xiaozhi and the others who change their costumes when changing regions, they always keep the same outfit. If you don't have any money, I can donate some. Brother Xiaozhi, stop wearing the same clothes. After taking inventory so many times, someone finally discovered that Xiaozhi and others seem to have always been wearing the same set of clothes. This makes people wonder if they ran out of money for the trip. Why didn't they change their clothes? Chapter 134. Indirect Kiss. I, Mega, have no idea what that is. Advertisement. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. While Gary was watching the inventory images, he was also scrolling through the Tiandao inventory forum on his mobile phone. See if there are any interesting topics in it. Then he came across the topic about Xiaozhi and his friends' clothes. Just when he was about to laugh at Xiaozhi and his friends, he looked at his clothes and his expression froze. He seemed to be just changing into two sets of clothes, no different from Xiaozhi and the others. Knock. After taking inventory, go out and buy some clothes and come back. How come I can only wear these two clothes? I didn't feel it when no one told me, but after someone reminded me, the more I thought about it, the more awkward I became. In the image, Xiaozhi and others were preparing to cross Qingqing Cliff, but Qingqing Cliff was a steep mountain with mostly sheer cliffs. Normally, there is no way to go directly over the mountain, so you can only take a bus once a week to go around Qingqing Cliff. Unfortunately, they just missed the bus by a hair's breadth. They had no choice but to stay in a hotel near Qingqing Cliff. The owner of the hotel is a beautiful girl named Luna. She told everyone that in addition to the bus service once a week, you can also ride a wooden boat down the river. This way you can quickly get around Clear Cliff. The impatient Xiaozhi naturally couldn't wait here for a week, so he made a decisive decision to row out early tomorrow morning. In the morning, Luna invited everyone to drink the river water here. As someone who has lived in Qingqing Cliff all year round, she knows better than anyone how delicious the water here is. Luna took 2 iron cups, filled them with water and handed them to Misty Xiaoging. After the two of them drank the water, Xiaolu's eyes instantly became watery. She felt like her whole body had been cleansed, normal. And Xiaoging even burst into tears after drinking it. It tasted so good that he cried. This made Xiaoji ask in confusion, "Is it that exaggerated? Isn't it just river water? If you don't believe me, drink it and see for yourself." As she spoke, Misty handed her cup to Xiaoji, and Xiaoji drank it without thinking. Kalo's region Veneval town Lena. How could it be? Xiaoji actually kissed another Stephanie indirectly, before me, wow. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Rub? Misty's face instantly turned red and her heart began to beat rapidly. What are you doing? Are you going to show this kind of scene? Can't you skip it? Skip it. Also, what's going on with me in the picture? Do you know whether men and women are intimate or not? Can this be given directly to Xiaoji to drink? Hey, Misty just gave Xiaoji some water. Delia narrowed her eyes and looked at Misty and Xiaoji with a smile. Although I have felt it for a long time, but I have never been able to confirm it. Now it seems that Misty's child really likes Xiaoji. No, Auntie, don't be mistaken. It's just a drink of water. What's the big deal? My relationship with Misty is so strong. You can't even give me a drink of water, right? Before Misty could finish her words, she was interrupted by Xiaoji's nonchalant words. Misty. Delia. Gary. Xiaoging. Good guy, as expected of you. Mega wooden person Xiaoji. You have no idea what that sip of water just meant, do you? Your reaction is truly amazing. What do I care about? Idiot Xiaoji is an idiot Xiaoji, how could he care about those details? Misty shook her head and slowly calmed down her wildly beating heart. She won't admit that she likes Xiaoji, Image 1. As the person involved, Misty found out nothing, and Xiaoging also saw through it but refused to reveal it. As for Xiaoji, he doesn't feel anything at all. After drinking the water, he had a momentary expression of satisfaction on his face, and then suddenly returned to normal. What? I think the milk cocoa made by my mother tastes better. Delia looked stunned for a moment as she watched, then the smile on her face became even bigger. It seems that even if I find a wife in the future, I will never forget my mother. In the image, faced with Xiaoji's rough evaluation, Misty and Xiaoging shouted loudly. How can you compare cocoa with the mountain spring water here? You are such a bad person. There is no distinction between good and bad, too. Xiaoji retorted unconvinced. You can't tell the difference between good and bad. Pikachu, come and drink it, it's obviously just ordinary mountain spring water. Pick up. Pikachu curiously took the iron cup and drank it with Togepi beside him. Pick up. Advertisement Pikachu and Togepi made happy sounds at the same time. Even his expression says that he seems to have been cleansed both physically and mentally. Seriously. Xiaoji doubted his sense of taste for the first time. The episode passed quickly, and then Luna provided the three of them with a small manual wooden boat. Because it is going downstream, it doesn't actually take much effort if the three of us can row the boat together. After the three said goodbye to Luna, they started rowing down the river. At this moment, the screen paused. Temporary Q&A. During the process of rowing, 3 people encountered some accidents and went back directly. Among them, who made the most effort to go back against the current, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket A. Misty. Close black lens bracket B. Xiaoging. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket C. Xiaoji. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket D. Pikachu. Close black lens bracket. The answer time is 2 minutes, and the method is rush answer. The time starts now. A temporary Q&A appeared so quickly, and the question this time was unexpectedly simple. Yulongdu. Haha, do you still need to think about this question? It must be C, close black lens bracket. Diantha. Although I think Lance's poisonous milk is quite powerful, I think. Besides Xiaoji, there is still water that can carry the boat upstream? Emperor Dan. Haha, do you still believe in Xiaoji more than Emperor Dan's poisonous milk? Close black lens bracket. Bruno. Nonsense. This must be Xiaoji. You would be stupid not to choose Xiaoji for this one, close black lens bracket. This time everyone unanimously agreed to choose Xiaoji. Although they are not that familiar with Misty and Xiaoging, they are familiar with Xiaoji. Among these 4 options, it seems that only Xiaoji can paddle the boat and take 2 people back against the current. Come on. That's countercurrent. No one thinks that Pikachu, Xiaoging, and Misty can do it, right? Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. I wonder if I can grab it. Misty looked at the answer button in front of her nervously. Finally, I have a question that I am sure I can answer correctly, but there is more monks and less meat. Only the person with the fastest hands in the world can answer this question. Misty is somewhat unconfident. Actually, I think it's probably a. Xiaoging's invisible eyes flashed with the light of wisdom. How is it possible that Misty, it seems like Misty really has that kind of strength. Xiaoji subconsciously wanted to refute, but after thinking about it for a long time, she suddenly became alarmed. Everyone thinks that Sister Shaw is that kind of weak girl, but little does they know. She is a woman who can carry an electrocuted bicycle all the way to Jobin City on a rainy day. When it comes to strength, even Xiaozhi may not be Misty's rival under extreme rage. Hey, 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 how rude. How can I have that kind of strength? I'm just a weak woman, okay. Misty can't sit still. Can these two people talk? Let's forget it when we travel privately. There are so many people now. Does Aunt Delia think she is a violent woman? Even if Misty has that strength, Xiaogang, why do you think it's Misty? Xiaozhi asked curiously. In the image, the place where we are rowing is a clear river, and we have to pass through jungle by the river. You know, clear river water is the favorite of bug-type Pokémon. In an instant, Xiaozhi and Misty knew the reason. Speaking of bug-type Pokémon, that's what Misty fears the most. If there really were a bunch of bug-type Pokémon, it wouldn't be that surprising that Misty would just explode and row back. Gary was confused as he listened. Does the bug-type Pokémon have anything to do with that, Misty? Soon, the time for answering questions has arrived. The person who grabbed it this time is. Open black lens bracket answer. Gary. Close black lens bracket. Whoosh, everyone immediately looked in Gary's direction, and Gary showed a proud smile. Ha ha ha. It's my turn to answer the question after all. Although I'm not single, the hand speed I developed in the game arcade was not in vain. Gary is proud to be able to win the right to answer the question among thousands of people. Gary, what do you choose? Facing Xiaozhi's question, Gary confidently clicked on one of the options. Open black lens bracket. Gary chooses A. Misty. Close black lens bracket. Yu Longdu. No, Gary, do you know how to choose? Why choose A. Close black lens bracket? Diantha. Misty. It's a bit too much to choose her. The other person is Stephanie's sister-in-law. Close black lens bracket. Bruno. Just, a weak woman wants to take 2 people and 2 Pokemon upstream in a wooden boat? There must be a limit to whimsy. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Misty and I have met quite a few people some time ago. People with thin arms and thin legs don't look like people with that kind of strength. Who are you talking about? Gary. Close black lens bracket. When everyone questioned Gary's answer, Tiandao Inventory had already given the correct answer. Gary. Answered correctly and the reward has been distributed. Please check. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. B. A large-scale face-slapping scene has appeared. In the previous kick, he said that Misty could not have that kind of power, but in the second kick, the answer was given by Tiandao Inventory. Misty is the right choice, but how is it possible, Misty? That weak woman Misty can actually swim upstream. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Xiaozhi and others did not expect that Gary would believe what they said so much and resolutely chose A. Advertisement. At this time, a ray of light shone on Gary and then quickly dissipated. After the light dissipated, Gary closed his eyes tightly, but the smile on his lips could no longer be suppressed. Gary. What did you get when you arrived? In the end, Xiaozhi couldn't help being curious and asked Gary. Xiaozhi responded with Gary's extremely wild laughter. Ha 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 ha. I have obtained Xinglu's secret recipe for cultivating Pokémon. You are finished, Xiaozhi. Now it will only take a matter of minutes for me to surpass you. My road to becoming a champion will soon begin. Hearing this, his red eyes flashed. If you have time, can you write down a little bit of the secret book in your mind and show it to me? Ah. Of course it's no problem, brother Qihong. Then you can help me advise him well, he. The way Gary talks to Qihong is completely different from how he talks to Xiaozhi. Although the two were theoretically the same existence, red is red, for Gary. Kai Hong was not his childhood sweetheart since childhood, nor was he his fierce rival. And Qihong's strength far exceeds him. That's why the way he talks to Kai Hong is different. TCH, so what if you get the secret book? I have brother Qihong personally teaching me. You will never beat me. Ha. Let's see the real results in the Indigo Plateau Conference finals. Under everyone's doubtful gaze, the images began to flow again. I saw the boat with 3 people gliding slowly, gliding down smoothly all the way. Suddenly, several people met Ledian's tribe. Xiaogang also took advantage of the situation and said, next to the clean river water, it is the favorite of bug-type Pokémon. Misty said confidently while looking at the cute Ledian. If it's a bug-type Pokémon like Ledian, I won't be afraid at all. But then, they came near Beedrill's tribe. Misty looked at the iron shell coon around them, and the Beedrill who looked at them eagerly. Instantly creepy. Oh, I can't stand it anymore. Run away, run away, run away quickly. Just like that, Misty single-handedly moved the entire boat upstream and back to its original place. Everyone was dumbfounded. You idiot. Do you call this a weak woman? Look at her arm strength. She can kill 2 Magikarp with 1 punch. Sure enough, the people around Xiaozhi are not ordinary people. Xiaozhi and others came back and asked if there were other methods. However, apart from the waterway, there is only one way to get over it, which is climbing Qingcheng Cliff. But climbing Clear Cliff is more dangerous than walking by water. In the end, Xiaozhi and his group chose to wait for the bus to arrive a week later. The scene turned. Mewtwo, the clones Meowth and Pikachu were standing on the clear cliff. Look at the moon soaring in the sky, as bright as a disc. At this time, a group of Butterfree flew past Mewtwo's eyes, which once again aroused Mewtwo's emotion about life. To this day, he still cares about his identity as a clone. It's not that he is against the clone, but he is thinking, as a clone. Can he really live peacefully and happily like other Pokémon? He couldn't help but ask soul questions to the two Pokémon around him. What should we do in the future, and how should we live? Pika Pika. Pikachu, you mean, hiding here is like going to jail. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Yulongdu. This Pikachu should be a copy of Xiaozhi Pikachu, right? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Yes, it seems that he even inherited Pikachu's character of not liking to enter Pokeball. Xiaozhi's Pikachu doesn't like to enter Pokeball because he hates the constraints of narrow places. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. And the same goes for this Pikachu. Staying in Clear Cliff is also a constraint for him now. He wants to see the wider soaring in the sky. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. But, isn't the reason why Pikachu doesn't want to enter the Pokeball because he wants one to be with Xiaozhi? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Close black lens bracket. Well said, I can't answer this question for you. Plus, regarding Pikachu's answer, Mewtwo thought thoughtfully. Then he asked Meowth, Meowth, what do you think? Meowth. No matter where you look. Is the moon round? However, we are cloned Pokémon, not Pokémon truly born from this planet. Meowth. Whether it's a cloned Pokémon or not, is the moon still round when you see it? A smile formed on Mewtwo's lips. It does make sense. Bruno. Can anyone translate it? What does Meowth mean? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Isn't it clear what the dream translated to you? Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Bruno just can't understand what Mewtwo translated. The moon comes and goes. It just made his head dizzy. Close black lens bracket. B. Although what you said is true, why did I feel insulted by your words? Professor Oak. Mewtwo is still concerned about his identity as a clone. He feels a little scared that he is clearly a clone but can enjoy a peaceful life as a normal Pokémon. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. But Meowth told him that regardless of whether it was a replica or not, the scenery he saw was no different from the scenery seen by real Pokémon. In other words, Mewtwo is now alive. It has nothing to do with whether it is a copy. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 135. Catalia. I really want a Mewtwo. Advertisement. With Professor Oak's prompts, everyone understood the riddle conversation between Mewtwo and Meowth. In fact, not only Bruno, many people in the world cannot understand what Meowth said. After all, this statement is a bit too philosophical, and people with normal IQs really can't understand it. So this time, it's not Bruno's fault, in the image. After Mewtwo discussed the problem with philosophy Meowth, the screen turned back to Xiaozhi's side again. Now Xiaozhi and Mewtwo are obviously in the same place, but one is above the cliff and the other is below the cliff. If there are no surprises, there should be no intersection between the two. However, since this is the story of Xiaozhi and Mewtwo, accidents will definitely happen. While the four of them were admiring the moon, two people came to Luna's accommodation cabin. There was a man and a woman. The man was a middle-aged man, and the woman was younger. The man's name is Benisrina, also known as Professor of Medicine in the world. The woman's name is Domino, and she is a member of the National Pokémon Research Institute. Let me give you some honey. The purpose of the two coming here is not for Qingcheng Cliff, but for the lake water above Qingcheng Cliff. However, if you want to see the clear lake water, you need to climb the steep cliff. Luna also kindly dissuaded the two of them. If it is not necessary, it is better not to take this risk. At this moment, the sound of firecrackers sounded, attracting everyone's attention. I heard the phrase, this cliff is extremely difficult to climb. To prevent the world from being destroyed, to protect world peace. A classic opening line plus BGM, everyone knows. The Rockets trio is here. These three people. In the name of doing evil things, but they almost never succeeded in doing bad things. Every time he does something bad, he will give Xiaozhi indirect help. It can be said that he has actually done it. He has done all the bad things with his words, but actually done all the good things. After Team Rocket finished their opening remarks, Domino narrowed his eyes slightly and whispered softly. Why don't I remember these three guys in Team Rocket? Yulongdu. Did I hear you right just now? Did the woman named Domino say that she didn't remember the people in Team Rocket? Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Unless everyone's ears are wrong. I didn't expect that the National Pokémon Research Institute would actually have people from Team Rocket. Close black lens bracket. Damalanchi. I just received information that the Domino members of the National Pokémon Research Institute suddenly disappeared, and there is no way to contact them. They escaped so fast. Bruno. Tisk. Even if you know the opportunity, it will be difficult to catch these members of Team Rocket. They're like loaches in a puddle. Normal. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. This woman is the guy who was with Giovanni at the beginning, right? Now she has sneaked into Xiaozhi and his group. I feel a little bad. Close black lens bracket. Because at the beginning, only the main shot of Giovanni was shown in the picture, and the face of the woman next to Giovanni was not shown. So everyone now knows that Dono is actually from Team Rocket. Moreover, Mewtwo and Xiaozhi seem to be drawn by fate. If Domino follows Xiaozhi, there is a high chance that he will meet Mewtwo. I'm afraid Team Rocket's army will be coming by then. No wonder the subtitle of this inventory is called The Storm Rises. In the image, Team Rocket took out the weird props they made. Teacher Dappy was caught in one fell swoop and one of them said that they couldn't do anything else. Pikachu's noble phantasm can be invented every time. After Pikachu was captured by Team Rocket and others, they immediately hopped on board the Meowth hot air balloon rocket booster version that kept up with the times. Flying to the clear cliff sky in an instant. Damn it. Bidyao is currently guarding his companions in the forest, and Charizard is training in the Charizard Valley. There are no flying-type Pokémon. Xiaozhi's words also let the audience know that Xiaozhi has now placed Charizard in Charizard Valley. And his Pidgeotto seems to have evolved into a Pidgeotto and is protecting his companions in the forest. But here comes the question, if there is no flying Pokémon, how can Xiaozhi save Pikachu? Xiaozhi's eyes were fixed on Team Rocket and others who were drifting away. The body started to run towards the cliff impulsively. Wait a minute, what are you going to do? Misty grabbed Xiaozhi's hand and stopped his impulsive behavior. What do you need to say? Of course I want to bring my Pikachu back. That's a cliff. Do you want to go up there with bare hands? Give it to me. At this time, Luna on the side had already changed into mountaineering clothes and prepared mountaineering tools. I have to say that the preparation tools here are quite complete. Whether you want to walk by water or mountain, we can provide you with the corresponding tools. With the advancement of Team Rocket, Xiaozhi and his group officially began to climb Qingqing Cliff. Otherwise, how can we say that the Rockets trio can provide assists every time? Without them, Xiaozhi and the others probably wouldn't have climbed Qingqi Cliff. Not to mention meeting Mewtwo. The Qingqing Cliff at the beginning did not have such a steep hillside, just like normal mountain climbing. However, due to weather conditions, there were mudslides on this relatively gentle hillside. While everyone was climbing, a huge rock suddenly struck. Baines barely dodged the huge rolling rock, however, he suddenly remembered. Advertisement behind him is Domino, the weak woman. When I looked back, Domino had disappeared. The next moment, she appeared next to a rock nearby, smiling and saying with lingering fear. Oh, it was so dangerous just now, it seems that I am really lucky. Wakao. It's green tea. What green tea speak? Hidden blue. As expected of an undercover agent of Team Rocket, a woman can reach out so quickly. Bennis didn't see it, but everyone watching the video saw it clearly. Domino was lucky just now, she just got out of the way quickly because of her agility. And green tea normal's cooing speech later made everyone's hair stand on end. This tone is too deliberate. After a lot of hard work by the group in the beautiful weather, 6 people on the day trip successfully hung on the Meowth hot air balloon. Counting the 3 members of Team Rocket, there are already 9 people here. It can be said to be seriously overloaded. Mewtwo, who was on the small island in the middle of Mirror Lake, seemed to respond. He looked through the gap inside the island's cave and looked at soaring in the sky. I immediately saw Xiaozhi and others. Meowth and Pikachu beside him also saw it. Meeting them again. Is this fate? Even if their memories are deleted, even if time is turned back. He still met them, and the boy who impressed him deeply. Not only did Mewtwo discover Xiaozhi and his group, Domino, who was undercover among Xiaozhi and his group, also discovered Mewtwo. After officially confirming Mewtwo's existence, Domino climbed into Team Rocket's hot air balloon. And directly called on Team Rocket's army, after learning that Domino is also the Rocket's executive. The Rockets trio quickly started talking to Domino with smiles. Domino smiled disdainfully at this. Stupid guys like you are not worthy of being a member of Team Rocket. Asking you to help will only get in the way, so, go back to where you came from. With that said, Domino blasted Team Rocket's air balloon, then activated his glider and flew away. Yu Longdu. Hiss, this person is so terrifying, he can actually find that the 3 members of Team Rocket are only in the way, close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Haha, she only observed the clumsy behavior of the 3 people on the surface. If she gets to know their master in depth, she will know. What is true success and failure? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. This lack of success is a good thing for Xiaozhi and the others. After all, every success fails, but failure succeeds every time. Jessie. I'm warning you, even if you are the champion, you are not allowed to insult our rockets. James. That's right. We have obtained the design drawings and materials from the Tiandao inventory store and created an incredible robot. I will let you know in 2 days what the true strength of Team Rocket is. Close black lens bracket. This time not only Jessie but also James couldn't bear it anymore. How can any bad guy stand it when these champions keep complaining about their success rate in doing bad things? Even though what the champions said is true, they're still intolerable. James finally stood up. Just because. Their new robot is about to be made. By then, it will definitely not be a problem to punch Dan Emperor, kick Red, and help the Rockets become the strongest organization in the world. Dandy. Oh, then I'm looking forward to it. Close black lens bracket. Steven. Are there any robots made of stone? If so, I can buy some from you. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket James. Close black lens bracket. What's the matter with this man? He collects stones as enthusiastically as he collects bottle caps. Image 1. Because James and others crashed, Xiaozhi and others also flew down. But they fell in different directions. Xiaozhi fell on the surrounding lake, and the Rockets trio fell on the island in the middle. That is the island where Mewtwo is located. The image first switched to where Team Rocket and others were sitting. Their hot air balloon was hung on a cliff, and the three of them were safe and sound. However, Pikachu, who was caught by them, had already broken free of the so-called insulating rope. Standing on the ground not far away, Pikachu escaped, NYA. No, he not only escaped, but also, angry. Pikachu. A huge golden spark emanates from Pikachu on the ground. Just when the trio was about to say that classic exit line, an equally bright spark directly interrupted Pikachu's thunderbolt. Pikachu. A voice attracted GP's attention, and there was a person who looked almost exactly like him. Pikachu, whose only pattern is different, is standing not far away. It seemed that he had released the thunder and lightning just now. The Rockets trio were also shaken off the cliff by the aftermath of lightning. Fortunately, the height was not particularly high, so they were all safe. Advertisement. What's going on? Meow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm saved. There's another Pikachu over there. At this time, the newly appeared Pikachu shouted roar to GP. On the face 2 Rage's expression appears. Meowth, what they say, translate it. Pikachu standing over there said, we meet again. What? Are they acquaintances? No, it doesn't look like a friend, but an enemy, NYA. Being scolded angrily, Pikachu tilted his head in confusion. Although he is the one who is angry at the opponent, but he cannot get angry at all. Because the other party is also a Pikachu, and it gives him a very cordial feeling. Even if the cloned skin accused him of an unfounded crime, he did not retort angrily. Just looked at him with confusion and curiosity. Pikachu. The replica skin continued to yell angrily, scolding Pikachu for bringing people to disturb their peaceful life of copying Pokémon. Pikachu was even more confused when he heard this. If you're not a buddy, who are you? Have we met? When Duplicate saw GP's innocent look, he became even more angry. Why can genuine products live in the sun, but they can only live in the shadows? And the existence under the sun is still coming to disturb them. The clone skin became more and more angry as he thought about it, and he was even ready to take action. At this moment, a silver-white Pokémon with a hint of purple suddenly stood behind the cloned skin. Stop it, don't be an insignificant war material. Mewtwo appeared. However, Mewtwo's words only intensified the anger inside the replica. Directly charged towards GP with a quick attack. However, just when GP had no intention of dodge. If it were normal, with Pikachu's bad temper, the other party would not only accuse him unfairly, but also accuse him unfairly. I even want to fight him. He has already taught his opponent how to behave with Thunderbolt. But even if the cloned skin was about to hit him, he didn't have the slightest desire to take action. Because the Pokémon attacking him now is like his own normal. Blue light covered the replica skin's body, then the copied skin is like a chicken normal. Destiny was grabbed by the back of the neck, slowly pulled back, and then placed on the ground not far away. Duplicate curled his lips and looked depressed. He knew that with Mewtwo here, he wouldn't be able to do anything now. To this day, there is no difference between the copied Pikachu and the real Pikachu. We may be cloned Pokémon, but now we are as real and alive as real Pokémon. Mewtwo was enlightened by the philosopher Meowth and became philosophical himself. Xiaozhi. Wow. The copied Pikachu, Wang Hao, is so cute. Just as cute as Xiaozhi's Pikachu. Close black lens bracket. Denji. Hey, I just realized how good Pikachu is now. Why can't Raichu degenerate into Pikachu? Close black lens bracket. Catalia. You only saw Pikachu's cuteness, but you didn't see Mewtwo's handsomeness. How could you have such a handsome shell smash dream with Mewtwo? Close black lens bracket. Sabrina. It's useless. He won't follow you even if you flatter Mewtwo. If you really want to choose a trainer to follow, it must be Xiaozhi who can help him get out of the dead end of his mind. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Catalia. Close black lens bracket. Damn it, got detected, but I really want Mewtwo. Ah, a high-level legendary beast, and a super power type. I want it so much. In image Mewtwo looked at the three members of Team Rocket with sharp eyes, and the three of them hugged together in fear. It would be nice if I could always be forgotten, but you still came here. Even if we want to live a quiet life, there is no way to escape your human desires. Mewtwo turned to look at the red light in the sky in the distance. It was Team Rocket's army approaching. The Team Rocket trio were confused. Have we met somewhere? Why do you sound like you know us? Mewtwo ignored their words. Their memories were deleted by him himself. Even the explanation is different. Pikapi. The clone said angrily to Mewtwo. Now we have no choice but to fight. This is no longer an ordinary battle but a war. Meow. It feels so terrifying. Meowth still acts as a loyal translator, but what the replica said was a bit scary. What exactly is going on? It actually wants to rise to the level of war. The so-called war is not a normal Pokemon battle, but a battle where people will die. Jessie and the others don't know what kind of hatred their Pokemon have against Team Rocket. Chapter 136. Giovanni. I'm on the Hoenn Cave in Convex Island. Come and beat me if you can. Advertisement. Diantha. This Pikachu is much more ferocious than Xiaozhi's Pikachu. Close black lens bracket. Day. This bad temper can even be described as a war. Is it so cruel? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Maybe this is the anger accumulated from not being able to go out to the outside world for such a long time. They must also know what kind of guy is forcing them to shrink into a corner. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Yes, that's why Pikachu has such a hatred for Mewtwo's enemies and Team Rocket who forced them here and couldn't get out. I'm afraid. The two sides are already at the level of a fight to the death. Close black lens bracket. Yu Longdu. Team Rocket. Damn it, at Clear Cliff. Mewtwo looked at the scene of the army approaching the border. As a bystander with a very high IQ, he understood immediately. Why did the Rockets dare to come with such a big fanfare? I'm afraid their first target is his companions on Clear Cliff. Once his companions are restrained by him, even he who has tyrannical power can only restrain his hands. If you dare to come here now, I will let you know how to be a good person. That person named Yulongdu. Just deal with him more gently. Lance doesn't know it yet, but his good performance has temporarily allowed Mewtwo to remove him from half of the blacklist. From a harsh lesson to a little tidying up, as for whether he can be completely removed from the blacklist, it depends on ADU's performance. In the image, Mewtwo looked at the moon in the sky and said calmly. If the moon does not have sunlight, it is impossible for it to emit light. And the world under the sun's light is the world where real creatures exist on this planet. When we copy Pokemon, we become their shadows, but we can't find a world where we can survive as shadows normally. After being modified by Xiaozhi's behavior and language, Mewtwo is no longer as surly as before, but has become quite peaceful. And it's a little too peaceful. That arrogant Mewtwo actually willingly regarded himself as a shadow. I have to say this is an incredible thing. Pikachu, Pikachu, Pikachu. Why do we have to be willing to be shadows? Meow. Pikachu, Pikachu. I know. There is a wider world outside this lake. Why can we only exist here? Even if we escape here, we will be hunted by others. Meow. Duopi said something, and Meowth translated it. At the end of the sentence, Copy's teardrops were already falling down. He really wanted to go to the outside world, but because he was a cloned Pokemon. But because someone outside has been searching for the existence of cloned Pokemon. As a result, he was unable to leave Clear Cliff and couldn't take a step away from Mewtwo's sight. Because if he leaves Mewtwo's sight, his life may be in danger. Even if he was under Mewtwo's protection now, trouble would still come to him. Seeing Pikachu crying pitifully, even Team Rocket couldn't help but soften. After all, they're not bad guys. It's just that the very thing of doing bad things has been engraved in their bodies since the three of them got together. If they are kind-hearted, I'm afraid there won't be many people in the world who are kind-hearted than them. Regarding Pikachu's sad words, they couldn't help but comfort him. Mewtwo, on the other hand, muttered to himself as he looked at the Rocket Legion slowly advancing in the sky. I know there is a wider world out there, but we are cloned Pokemon. After going around and around, I got into this weird circle again. Asterisk 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 next, Mewtwo decided to continue wandering with many Pokemon. He didn't want to take action against Team Rocket and others, even if they came to capture him. After all, Team Rocket created him to be like his parents, normal. He can disobey or even ignore Team Rocket, but let him destroy Team Rocket with his own hands. He can't do it, at least after being influenced by Xiaozhi, he couldn't do anything. If it were before. Counterattack, fierce counterattack. What the biological mother and adoptive father are all bullshit. Die for me all. Although Mewtwo doesn't want to conflict with Team Rocket and others, the clone skin doesn't think so. He directly brought a group of Pokemon and prepared to challenge Team Rocket and others. I have to say that this is the disadvantage of having little knowledge. The batch of Pokemon that replicated the belt weren't even enough for Team Rocket and the others to fill their teeth. At the same time, Xiaozhi and others also made a small boat using the surrounding trees and prepared to cross the lake to find Pikachu. The two sides happened to cross each other. Duplicate, Pikachu and other Pokemon came to the shore outside the lake. Xiaozhi and others came to the inside of the island, where they found a spring full of vitality. This is also the source of water in Mingjing Lake. On the other hand, Pikachu on the other side took the initiative and died before he could survive. They were discovered by Team Rocket's army and used high technology to defeat them all. Advertisement: the Pokémon whose strength is comparable to that of the gym were attacked by surprise. It was put directly into Team Rocket's Pokeball without even releasing a single skill. Only GP Clone Skin and Meowth and Clone Meowth survived. 4 Pokémon are frantically evading pursuit by Team Rocket and others. Yulongdu. Ah, this. Meowth, have you finally officially rebelled? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. It's obviously a very critical moment. Why do I feel like laughing when I watch it? Team Rocket is chasing Team Rocket's Meowth. Peeved. Professor Oak. Hey, let me tell you how great it is that Meowth can change his evil ways and return to his right ways. Except for the thoughts of wanting to do bad things, the rest of his thoughts are normal, even more righteous than some human beings. Professor Birch. Indeed, if there is a Meowth that can translate what Pokémon say, it will help the progress of Pokémon research more than normal. Alder. Maybe Meowth was completely disappointed with Giovanni after this incident and finally changed his ways? Jesse. Stop dreaming. Meowth and we have always been a member of Team Rocket. We will never betray the boss. Jesse pledges allegiance to Giovanni. Giovanni, who was watching the barrage, also nodded with satisfaction. Meowth, who was spied on by Alliance, was so loyal to him. It was no wonder that he always protected the useless trio. Should we upgrade their executive level after this time? Forget it, let them continue to monitor Xiaozhi. Apart from them, I'm afraid no one can follow him under that heavy siege. It would be unwise. Giovanni gave up what Jesse and others had always dreamed of, a promotion and a salary increase. Just because he needed those 3 people to see Xiaozhi. After all, apart from them, there really is no one in the world who can pinpoint Xiaozhi's location so accurately every time. I know Meowth is a cat, but for convenience, I keep calling them a trio, haha. In Image, when Pikachu and other Pokémon were in dire straits, Mewtwo, who had been following them, took action. A random shadow ball directly destroyed Team Rocket's high-tech attack. Then with a thought, all the Pokéballs restraining the Pokémon exploded. The Pokémon that was finally captured was rescued in the blink of an eye. Later, Giovanni emerges from one of the planes. We meet again, Mewtwo. HMPH, it's you. My power now is much stronger than before. You don't think you can still control me, do you? You are indeed much stronger, but don't underestimate humankind's high technology. As he spoke, Giovanni snapped his fingers, and 2 small machines, one red and one blue, flew out of the helicopter. Floating on both sides of Mewtwo, the 2 machines burst out with powerful energy in an instant. Like an electric current, Normal's golden streamline energy bombarded Mewtwo's body fiercely. Smacked down Mewtwo directly from midair, all the audience were shocked. You know, that's Mewtwo. Mewtwo is much more powerful than Mewtwo during the counterattack. Could Team Rocket actually build a machine that could defeat Mewtwo? In that case, why do they want to arrest Mewtwo? That machine alone can already dominate the world. However, Mewtwo slowly stood up from the rubble on the ground, his body unscathed. Do you think this heartless machine can defeat me? The contemptuous look on his face seemed to tell Giovanni. He was hit on purpose just now because he wanted to test the power of this machine. However, this power is not worth mentioning at all. I don't know who I learned to talk tough from. It's just because I have no heart, that's why I was able to catch you. If you have the ability, give it a try, Mewtwo. With that said, the 2 machines floated down again, swirling around Mewtwo. Then give it a try. Mewtwo's super stance quietly rose, and Giovanni also ordered to Domino beside him. Boost your energy. I want to see if your strength is as tough as your mouth. Tisk. Violent energy gushes out from the 2 machines. In terms of technological manufacturing, Team Rocket. It can be said that they are the top existences in the world. The energy burst out by these 2 machines is indeed extraordinary. If Mewtwo hadn't used Mewtwo this time, he might have been blocked directly. But there is no if. Drink. 2 huge waves of energy flew in like an electric current. However, Mewtwo opened his hands. That terrifying power was directly fixed in midair and unable to move. As Mewtwo suddenly exerted force, those 2 high-tech machines, which Giovanni thought were very powerful, were directly knocked out by confusion. The machine tackle was on the rock and was instantly driven into the rock. The surrounding rock was shattered inch by inch. However, the machine was not damaged, it seems. Giovanni put a lot of hard work into the machine's defense. As expected of you, Mewtwo. A machine without a heart cannot exert power beyond you. I know this very well. But, if something with a heart is powerful, it will naturally have its weaknesses. 0. Please give me flowers. Advertisement. I really have no chance of winning in a head-to-head confrontation with you. Even if all the rockets here put together, I'm afraid they won't be enough for you. But, what would happen if the stage of the battle was placed on that island? Giovanni pointed to the islands not far away where the replica Pokémon lived. On the island, there are replica Pokémon that don't want to go to the outside world, but just want to live and work in peace, get married and have children. And those Pokémon, there is no doubt that this is Mewtwo's weakness. Will. Niu. This is the first time I have seen someone who is so shameless, close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. This is Giovanni. This is the boss of Team Rocket. If he didn't even reach this level of shamelessness, how could he lead Team Rocket like a mouse? Normal. Is Kanto region hiding here and there? Close black lens bracket, dandy. First he said don't underestimate human beings' high technology, and then he mocked Mewtwo and asked Mewtwo to compete head-on with his machine. After discovering that the machine was unable to fight against Mewtwo. Then he immediately changed his words and said, I already knew that the machine couldn't beat you. Diantha. Haha. You are not good at bullying Mewtwo, right? At this time, any trainer with some words can probably ridicule Giovanni to the ground. He is really very flexible. Ah. Close black lens bracket, Bruno. No way. No way? The leader of Team Rocket still uses such shameless methods to deal with a Pokémon that is less than a year old? Is this really Giovanni from Team Rocket? Close black lens bracket, red. The Giovanni in our world is stronger than him. Close black lens bracket. Kai Hong silently made the last stab. This made Giovanni's back teeth crunch at Team Rocket's headquarters. He could still endure the previous taunts. Chi Hong's taunt really made him so depressed that he exploded. Compared with Giovanni from the Crimson World. What a comparison. Giovanni from the Crimson World is a loser. 0. Disbanding Team Rocket just to give the badge to a kid is simply a disgrace to the leader of Team Rocket. And Chi Hong compared the Giovanni with him and said that he was not even as good as the Giovanni in that world. In Giovanni's opinion, it was undoubtedly an insult to him. Giovanni. Brat, don't think that just because you won the Elite Four, became the champion, and subdued Mewtwo is how great you are. If you have the ability, come to my Team Rocket headquarters and give it a try, I'll let you know this. The difference between Team Rocket in this world and your world. Close black lens bracket. Red. Address. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Giovanni. Hoenn region Grooved Island Cave. Come if you have the ability. Close black lens bracket. Chi Hong. Come tonight. Close black lens bracket Chi Hong tugged on the wristband on her hand. It's been a long time since I had a good game, so let's relax today. Maxie, who was on Bump Island, couldn't help but feel cold all over when she saw the barrage dialogue. Kill NM. Whose address did you leave? You piece of shit. Yesterday, you were still discussing with me how to find and capture Groudon, and what kind of support you would provide me. Give me a stab now, right? Who is red? One man single-handedly defeated Mewtwo, the legendary figure of the High Legend. If he comes to Lava Volcano, Team Lava must not be directly punished? So cruel Giovanni. Maxie. Giovanni, you fart. I'm telling you, Chi Hong, Bump Island is our Lava Team's territory. It's not Team Rocket at all. Chi Hong. It doesn't matter, it's the same for everyone. My hands are itchy and I want to have a fight. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Maxi. Close black lens bracket send. Order all members of Team Lava to evacuate now. Giovanni. We, the Lava Team, have taken note of this grudge. Steven. Ha 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 ha. As expected of you. You are so red, I almost couldn't breathe from laughing. Close black lens bracket. Wallace. I just received news that a large number of Lava Team members were seen near Fei in town, and they seem to be escaping in a hurry. It seems that Chi Hong you don't need to go tonight. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Crimson. Close black lens bracket Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Brother Chi Hong, do you really plan to go? With Mewtwo here, it won't take more than an hour. I wanted to go over and relax my muscles. I didn't expect Team Lava to be so timid. I'll watch your review at home tonight. The fighting spirit that Kai Hong was preparing to burn slowly died out. He actually ran away after hearing his name. It's boring. It's really boring. Brother Chi Hong, if you go to find Team Lava, won't you be used as a weapon by Giovanni? I don't plan to do anything to them, I'm just practicing. Besides, if I fight them, Team Lava will hate Team Rocket, so Chengsheng is just poaching for himself. Everyone thought about Chi Hong's words and found, it seems to be true. Hiss, Kai Hong is actually standing on the 5th floor, how terrifying. Chapter 137, You Mega, Rookie, can't you break this iron railing? Are you trying to learn acting from Pikachu? Advertisement Team Rocket headquarters. The subordinates around Giovanni had left very consciously. After all, now, is Giovanni's embarrassing moment. Since his impulsive speech just now, Giovanni has already felt bad. But, giving in public, he couldn't do it even more, so he pushed Team Lava out. As a senior conspirator, he can naturally think of everything Chi Hong can think of. But, there is no other way. This is the price of impulsiveness. It took a lot of effort to establish a relationship with Hoenn's Lava Team, and he was ready to put his hand into Hoenn's. Now it seems that the Hoenn branch plan may have to be delayed. The only good news is, the other side doesn't know where Team Rocket's headquarters is. Even Rage can only be helpless and furious, although Crimson is on the 5th floor this time, Giovanni is on the 4th floor. Only Maxie is on the 2nd floor. Come in, everyone, take a good look at the inventory and see if there are any loopholes in Mewtwo. After Giovanni's order, many of his subordinates walked in with solemn faces. If you look closely, you can actually see, they work very hard to suppress their laughter. In the image, Faced with Giovanni's threat, Mewtwo's tone finally began to change. You are such a villain, haha, whatever you say, those who achieve great things don't stick to trivial matters. Now, it's your turn to choose Mewtwo. Are you going to leave your friends on the island alone? Or are you going to confront me here? Giovanni smiled contemptuously, and the old god leaned against the raised railing of the helicopter. Giovanni's helicopter, according to its era, was really advanced. On the other side, after Xiaozhi and others learned the secret of the lake on the island, they continued to search for Pikachu. However, Pikachu was not found, but bumped into Domino, who came to capture Mewtwo's companions. As expected, everyone was caught directly. Even Mega's real rookie Xiaozhi couldn't resist Team Rocket's high-tech restraint circle. After everyone was caught, the Pokémon on the island were also captured directly by Team Rocket. At this time, Mewtwo arrived too late. Unfortunately, it's too late. All cloned Pokémon on the island, including their children, were captured by Team Rocket. Domino is even holding a mini Nidoran female sign. In the animation, there is a Nidoqueen that is about 30 to 40 centimeters. I think it is quite outrageous. What is born from a Nidoqueen is a Nidoqueen, right? Even evolution is omitted. As long as Mewtwo dares to act rashly, she will directly use the high-tech black rose gun in her hand to kill Nidoran female sign. Even as strong as Mewtwo, there's nothing we can do now. Drake. Let me tell you, Chao 410 Dreams character is still pure and kind, close black lens bracket. Agatha. Humph, I knew from the beginning that Mewtwo was not an evil Pokémon. In this review, Mewtwo's kindness was even more evident, close black lens bracket. Damolonki. Yes, if Mewtwo wants to, if the other party dares to use his partner as a threat, Mewtwo can in turn use Giovanni as a threat, close black lens bracket. Lorelei. In this case, it's up to Team Rocket's men to choose whether to kill their boss or let Mewtwo's friends go, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Bruno. Although what you said makes sense, I feel as if it was the first day I met you. Are you all such dark people? Close black lens bracket. Yulong Du. Let me tell you something. With your brain, it is simply a miracle that you can survive to this day. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. Don't be embarrassed. Did others survive by relying on their muscles instead of their brains? He might have ended his journey on the first day he went out. Close black lens bracket. B. As old folks like Drake Agatha say, after all, Mewtwo is too naive and soft-hearted. If you encounter such a situation and you have the ability to kidnap the enemy boss. If you don't want to be manipulated by the other party, the best choice is to be the king of bridges first. It's a pity, I don't know if Mewtwo didn't think of it or if he was just too kind and didn't want to do anything to Giovanni. After all, when Giovanni came to arrest him, his first thought was to escape instead of fighting back. Xiaozhi's wave of soul cleansing directly washed a holy lady out. In the image, after Mewtwo arrived, Joven had recovered the machine that had just been shaken up by Mewtwo and flew over with the flying machine. He looked at Mewtwo's helpless look and smiled sarcastically. Hey, Mewtwo, if you want to save your companions, you have to become a Pokémon that only lives and fights for me. If I had to live for you, I would rather disappear from this world. You are so stubborn. If you dare to resist me, your partner will become my experimental material and disappear from this world. Tisk. Mewtwo clenched his palms hard and looked at Giovanni with hatred on his face. Well, let's play a game. Bada. Giovanni snapped his fingers, and the machine that Mewtwo had just beaten flew out of the flying machine. Advertisement slowly floated to Mewtwo's side. This machine has two modes. The one I just used on you is the attack mode, and the second mode is the mode used to control your body and mind. It will turn you into a prop that only listens to my orders. As long as you are willing to put down your guard and enter the machine for a day, then I will let your partner go. Giovanni also knew that if Mewtwo resisted with strength, these two junks would not be able to pose a threat to Mewtwo. But if he doesn't use his terrifying psychic, Giovanni is still somewhat confident in his machine. By then, Mewtwo will definitely become his prize. Roar. The clone Pokémon carried by Mewtwo faced Giovanni Roar. They're all telling Mewtwo not to go in, meow. It will be very bad if you go in, NYA. Meowth also translated the words spoken by many Pokémon in Mewtwo's copy army. At this moment, his heart doesn't seem to be with boss Giovanni for the time being. After all, the camp he is currently on is Mewtwo's camp. But for the sake of his friends, there is only one way Mewtwo can go. The two machines emitted black current, creating a blue aperture in the middle of the machines. This aperture is used to control Mewtwo's energy. GP and Duplicate are still trying to dissuade Mewtwo. Domino sneered and waved the Black Rose in his hand. A blue energy bomb flew directly from Black Rose. It hit the two Pikachu instantly. The two Pikachu were scarred all at once. Team Rocket's technology is indeed powerful, and this attack is comparable to the powerful moves of normal gym leader Pokémon. And the Rockets were able to condense it into a small rose. Stop. I agree to your request, but I will never allow you to harm my companions. HMPH, I didn't expect that Mewtwo, who was so ruthless back then, would one day sacrifice his life for his companions. Then please. Ignoring Giovanni's sarcasm, Mewtwo slowly walked into the blue energy aperture. In an instant, Mewtwo's body was controlled by a blue circle of light. How about it? You have to listen to me now, right? Even if you can control my body, my mind will never be controlled by you. That's not necessarily the case. Giovanni pressed the button on his hand. The power of the machine suddenly increased, the blue aperture turned pink. Mewtwo, who could still bear it, instantly let out a painful cry. Can you withstand this kind of power? If you can't, just beg for mercy. Giovanni kept attacking Mewtwo's heart with words. As long as his heart relaxes, then this machine can successfully control Mewtwo's mind. You. Dream. I. Won't. Give up. Have some backbone. Let's see who is stronger, your will or my technology. After saying this, Giovanni asked Domino to tie up all the Pokémon and take them away. And he looked around, and when he saw the wind and water around him, Giovanni decided to transform this place into Team Rocket's secret base, and Breeder released a large number of Pokémon legions. He even has the dream of controlling Mewtwo and making Mewtwo the leader of the Pokémon army. You Longdu. The Giovanni in our world is 10,000 times more disgusting than the Giovanni in the Red world. Dandy. He is indeed much more despicable than Giovanni from the Crimson world. I want to flatten him every time I look at him. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. The other Giovanni is so much cuter than the others. Others disbanded Team Rocket just because of Kai Hong's words. Lorelei. No matter what you do, you can only dream of being number one. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. But, if we analyze it rationally, Giovanni in this world is the real villain. In fact, their evil organization has always been so unscrupulous. 1. Stephen. Cynthia is right. The bad guys in the world are actually guys like Giovanni and Domino, and who do whatever it takes to achieve their goals, such as the trio of Team Rocket and the boss Giovanni from the Red world. They are all considered a rare breed among bad guys. Close black lens bracket. You Longdu. Yes, even me, who has been a prosecutor for many years, has almost forgotten that this is the normal state of evil people. Close black lens bracket. In recent rounds of inventory, there are basically no evil people around, even if there are. He is also a person who is both good and evil like the trio of Team Rocket and the boss of the Red world, Giovanni. Although they are villains, they have a unique charm. However, such villains are rare among the villains. In fact, most villains are like Giovanni, normal, unscrupulous and shameless. This is the reality of this world. In the image, all the Pokémon were taken and imprisoned in prison together with Xiaozhi and others. On the way, 2 Pikachu were attacked by Domino with Black Rose. He was even seriously injured and unable to stand. However, Bennis had previously taken a small pipe of water from the lake full of vitality. After he fed the 2 Pikachu, their injuries healed instantly. That lake has such incredible power, it can make even seriously injured Pokémon recover in an instant. Advertisement, key points need to be tested. Everyone and many Pokémon are imprisoned in the same prison. Although the iron ring that bound them is no longer there, this prison is extremely hard. What a ghost. Yulongdu. We are living in Bungbu. Can such a prison trap Pokémon that can use skills? Close black lens bracket. Bruno. Not to mention Pokémon that use skills, even Xiaozhi can not get away with his bare hands. How can these iron sticks stop Mega Real Rookie? Close black lens bracket. The prison where Xiaozhi and others are now detained. Neither is it equipped with a special alarm device. Of prison, it's not a copper wall, iron defense, or an electrified railing. It's just an ordinary iron fence, not to mention Charizard's flamethrower and Blastoise's high-pressure water gun inside. Xiaozhi Mega's real rookie's arm strength should be able to hammer him away. But what are they doing now? Holding the railing and shouting, let them out quickly. It's true, Xiaozhi, you inherited Pikachu's acting skills, right? Let's start the show? While Xiaozhi and others were imprisoned, Team Rocket was also transforming their so-called secret base. Half a day passed in the video, and Mewtwo was still struggling between the two machines. Damn it. After suffering so much pain, his brainwaves didn't even fluctuate at all. Is this guy's will made of iron? Boss Giovanni, if this continues, Mewtwo's body will not be able to bear it and will completely collapse. Domino was on the phone with Giovanni while checking Mewtwo's physical condition. She discovered that Mewtwo was now extremely weak contest condition. If this continues, let alone surrendering to the Rockets and helping the Rockets do things, I'm afraid even his life will be lost. Giovanni looked at the monitor with a very ugly face. Although Mewtwo was made according to the specifications of a first-level god. But he is a super-type Pokémon after all, and all his strength lies in Psychic. His own physique is not even comparable to that of a normal level 2 god, so it is only natural that his body will become what it is now. That pink energy wave is not as beautiful and harmless as it appears on the surface. No matter. It's no longer a question of whether Mewtwo can play for Team Rocket. This is a showdown of wills between me and Mewtwo. How could I lose to the Pokémon I created? With that said, Giovanni crushed the walkie-talkie into pieces. Boom. Domino also made a loud noise, which also made her jump. Mewtwo provokes you, why are you venting your anger? Domino grumbled dissatisfiedly, then walked to the corridor on the side and shouted angrily at Jesse and James who were mopping the floor. You two, mop it properly for me. Remember to change the water after mopping it once. When I come back, I will see that the floor is as smooth as jade. Do you know? Domino, who was being used to vent his anger by Giovanni, directly used Jesse and James as a punching bag. You long do. We are not a family, we don't belong to the same family. Diantha. Haha, just now she was talking about why Giovanni took out her anger, and then he took it out on Jesse and the others. This woman feels even more annoying than Giovanni. Close black lens bracket. Catalia. After all, there is a nest of snakes and rats. The upper beam is not straight and the lower beam is crooked. Close black lens bracket. Domino's behavior attracted the contempt of many people. At first, this woman was full of tea. The subsequent behavior is also very annoying. I actually hate this guy too. The turning point soon came in the video, because a large number of manufacturing factories discharge wastewater. The Pokémon living here, especially the bug-type Pokémon, are angry. Pure water is the foundation of their lives. What Team Rocket is doing is endangering their lives. So, hundreds of bug-type Pokémon sounded the clarion call for counterattack. The huge commotion completely destroyed several iron railings in front of Xiaozhi. A prison that could be destroyed by just the aftermath. Xiaozhi and others didn't even think about using any means like slash to escape. Then a group of soldiers split into two groups. Benis and Luna were worried about the water in Mirror Lake, so they went to check the water source. Xiaozhi and others ran to save Mewtwo. Chapter 138. Xiaozhi. The only one I want to save is him. Advertisement. A huge group of bug types invaded Team Rocket's newly built base. Countless Team Rocket members are unable to resist the huge swarm of insects. Beedrill, Scyther, Ledian, Butterfree. Although Domino doesn't have Pokémon, her physical skills are superb. Coupled with the high-tech black rose in his hand, he is one of the few beings in Team Rocket who can resist the insect swarm. However, she slipped on the floor mopped by Jesse and James. The floor is very smooth, after all, we have wiped it a dozen times. You deserve it. The two looked at each other and quickly evacuated the scene, leaving Domino behind who was beaten up. Domino doesn't regard them as members of Team Rocket, so there is no need for them to rescue Domino. Because of the huge commotion, Giovanni and the Rockets didn't even have time to care about Mewtwo, Xiaozhi and the others. This also allowed Xiaozhi and others to come to Mewtwo unimpeded. Sensing the movement behind him, Mewtwo looked at Xiaozhi and others aside. A worried heart finally let go. You are all saved. Mewtwo, just wait and we will rescue you right now. Xiaozhi shouted to Mewtwo and looked at the two machines controlling Mewtwo. Mewtwo was stunned when he heard this. You know me? Logically speaking, this young man's memory should have been erased by him. How can I still know him? It was Meowth who told me your name. I also know that my Pikachu was saved because of you. So now, it's my turn to repay you. Turn this light off. Xiaozhi and the others ran around the two machines, but found that there were no buttons like switches. It is estimated that this machine is remotely controlled. In that case, then just smash him. Then Xiaozhi rushed out and hit the 413 machine hard. When Xiaogang and Pikachu Meowth saw this, they also imitated it. Massive audience. No, bro. What kind of brain circuit is this? You must get used to it. Don't you have Pokémon? Use skills. What the hell is tackle? Bruno. This is a machine that can withstand Mewtwo confusion and crash into a hard rock without being hurt. Even Xiaozhi. The moment Bruno finished speaking, Xiaozhi went up again. One of the blue machines was knocked directly to the ground, and there was a trace of cracks. Open black lens bracket B. Is it true? So, if you have this strength, can the broken railing stop you just now? A bit outrageous. Xiaozhi, who was in the backyard of Professor Oak's laboratory, was also a little confused. He was still somewhat confident in his own strength, so why didn't he hit the iron railing directly just now? Could it be that I subconsciously feel that I can't hit him? I need to understand myself better in the future. In the image, the machine was knocked to the ground and cracked, and the power star controlling Mewtwo was instantly weakened. Get out of the way. I am going to release the last power in my body now. Either my body cannot withstand direct destruction, or I will destroy this machine directly. As he spoke, Mewtwo burst out with all his strength. His whole body seemed to be possessed by a ghost and burned by flames. Normal. Becoming very abstract. Seeing this, Xiaozhi also shouted to the two Pikachu on the side. Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. At this time, Xiaozhi finally remembered that he had Pikachu, and Pikachu could also use Thunderbolt. Pikachu. Two bright sparks suddenly burst out. The terrifying confusion and the huge thunder act on that day machine at the same time. The machine that had already cracked a crack finally couldn't bear the pressure and shattered. One of the machines was shattered, and the light that bound Mewtwo quietly disappeared. Mewtwo fell directly from the sky. Xiaozhi quickly went over to catch it. That amazing arm strength makes people sigh. Sure enough, Xiaozhi is still the same Xiaozhi. Are you okay, Mewtwo? Let me down. Although the machine was destroyed, my body can't be saved. It seems. I can only go so far. Pika Pika. 2. The two Pikachu shouted to Mewtwo in unison. They said that spring water can heal Mewtwo, meow. Hearing this, everyone immediately remembered that Pikachu drank spring water after being seriously injured. The injury healed almost instantly. That spring water must also help Mewtwo recover. Then let's take him there quickly. Xiaozhi slowly placed Mewtwo on the ground, then turned his back to pick it up. Don't even think about it, a voice came, and everyone turned around and found. At some point, Team Rocket's army appeared there. Advertisement Domino, Giovanni, and a bunch of Team Rocket minions. They can even deal with Mewtwo, so they can't be afraid of just bug-type Pokémon. It's just that the number of those Pokémon is too huge, and they also use skills such as Stun Spore Sleeping Powder. They also spend a lot of effort to expel those bug-type Pokémon. Then he rushed to Mewtwo without stopping. Mewtwo is mine. If he doesn't surrender to me, then let him be destroyed. Giovanni's obsession with Mewtwo has become as sick as normal. If you can't get it, destroy it, you're dreaming. Misty and Xiaogang shouted in unison and released all their Pokémon. 7 Pokémon stood in front of Giovanni, and Xiaogang shouted to Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi, take Mewtwo and go first, I'm blocking you here. Good. At this time, Meowth, who was standing behind Xiaozhi, was in a dilemma. He didn't want to help Giovanni capture Mewtwo, who had always cared about the Pokémon. But he doesn't want to confront Giovanni head-on, after all. Giovanni is still his former master. Suddenly, Meowth saw 2 figures poking their heads furtively on a covered path behind him. It was as if he had seen Normal, his savior, and he hurriedly ran to the trail. Jesse, James, you are safe and innocent, meow. Ah, it's Meowth. Why are you here? Is that Boss Giovanni? Yes, meow. Let's go quickly, otherwise, Giovanni will be dead when he sees us and finds out that we have done nothing, meow. That's right, slip away. At this moment of the battle between good and evil, the trio neither stood on the side of justice nor on the side of evil. But, to the audience, the Rockets are already on Xiaozhi's side. After all, from Meowth's point of view, if he really wanted to help the Rockets, as long as they attack from behind, Xiaozhi and his party will be finished. However, he did not do such a thing, but chose to escape. I usually yell at people who do bad things, but I always help Xiaozhi at the most critical moment. This may be the reason why many people still like the Team Rocket trio even though they're villains. If they hadn't been chanting to capture Pikachu and capture other Pokémon to dedicate to Giovanni, I'm afraid they can't even be considered villains, because the bad things they did, they never succeeded. Team Rocket headquarters. Giovanni's face turned even darker. Just now, Jesse and others were still sworn to be loyal to him. Now in the video, they directly betrayed him, those 3 guys. But he can't touch the 3 of them, not to mention that they need to watch Xiaozhi. Let's just say that these 3 people are of extraordinary significance to the Rockets. Meowth can speak human language and was his former pet. Jesse's mother was his mother's secretary, and she also died in the line of work serving his mother. The James family is a large chaebol and an important source of funds for the Rockets. These 3 people. How are they moving? It's over, meow. What will Boss Giovanni think if he sees this image, meow? Ying. It should be fine, right? Haha. Haha, after all, this is a matter of the future. It would be great if we didn't do that in the future. Jesse and James didn't feel confident talking. If there is an entity in Tiandao inventory, they will pull it out and give it a beating. They just did that thing. Why do we have to give them a close-up? Ask yourself, if they really encounter that kind of thing in the future, they may really make that choice. Although they are villains, they are principled villains. I really can't do anything to a Pokémon like Mewtwo who is so affectionate and will almost die trying to protect Pokémon. But, don't show the footage of them running away. What would Boss Giovanni think if he saw this? Now that things have happened, I can only capture Pikachu and give it to the boss and make up for it. That's right, meow. Make a plan tonight. Pikachu must be captured tomorrow. I was promoted to executive and then to branch head. What a great feeling. The Rockets trio daydream on a daily basis. In the image, the 7 Pokémon released by Xiaogang and Misty were unable to stop Team Rocket's numerous troops. But they are not the only ones helping in the fight. Roar. A sky-shattering roar sounded from behind Team Rocket's main force. Everyone in Team Rocket turned around and saw that. It turns out that they were surrounded by an army of cloned Pokémon at some point. Humph. It's just a mob, let me knock you all down. The battle is about to break out, and Xiaozhi has quietly evacuated from the passage on the other side. The screen changed, and Xiaozhi's Bulbasaur and Chikorita were using Vine Whip to support Mewtwo. Xiaozhi, on the other hand, carefully held Mewtwo up the stairs. It's not that Xiaozhi couldn't lift Mewtwo by himself. But Mewtwo's own injuries were extremely serious, and the bumps must be minimized. That's why Chikorita and Bulbasaur used Vine Whip for support. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Advertisement. Dana. Ju Ji Yu, Mewtwo looked at the cautious humans around him with a strange look in his eyes. Why are you so willing to sacrifice your life to help me? Because you saved Pikachu, and I always feel that you have a familiar feeling. Besides, even if it's a Pokémon I've never met, if I have the ability to help it, then I will definitely help. Is that all? You may need a reason to hurt someone, but you don't need any reason to help someone. The same goes for Pokémon, so, you don't need any reason to help you. Mewtwo slowly closed his eyes and tried his best to suppress. Feel the shock in your heart. You are really a very special trainer. Of course, after all, I am the #1 Pokémon master in the future, and aren't you also a special Pokémon? Sacrificing yourself for other Pokémon is so stupid. But such stupid things are what Xiaozhi does most often. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Xiaozhi is still the same Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket, Alder. The most admirable thing about Chitaro is not how many powerful Pokémon he has, nor his battle level, nor his luck. It's the one that always loves him. Pokémon Heart. Cynthia. It's easy to say that you sacrifice your life for Pokémon, but being able to do this can be said to be very rare. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. It is precisely because of this that Xiaozhi and his Pokémon have such a deep bond. In every critical battle, a powerful force beyond the norm breaks out. 1. Damalonki. I think the story of the bond between Xiaozhi and Pokémon can even be made into a book, which can further promote the love and care of Pokémon among trainers. Damalanchi's idea has been recognized by many champion elites. There are actually not a few people in the world who discard Pokémon, even if there are strict legal regulations. But if the story between Xiaozhi and his Pokémon is made into a book and passed down in the future, those who have the desire to abandon Pokémon dreams should be shocked by the story between Xiaozhi and Pokémon. So think twice before you act. Clear Cliff. You don't need any reason to help someone. Mewtwo couldn't help but trembled after hearing the reason why Xiaozhi rescued him. Although Mewtwo already knew from the previous inventory that Xiaozhi is a special human who is willing to give up his own life for Pokémon. But when this Pokémon becomes oneself, no one can know how Mewtwo, who has lacked love since childhood, was shaken in his heart. The world's #1 Pokémon master in the future. Let me help you, Xiaozhi. Mewtwo's slightly confused eyes turned into determination. After no longer worrying about the safety of his partners, Mewtwo has been confused about what he will do in the future. His companions no longer need his protection, although I think about going to Xiaozhi's side in the future. But becoming a human Pokémon, he still needs some time to overcome that hurdle in his heart. And now, it's over, if even such a trainer is not worth entrusting. Who else in the world is worthy of his following? Xiaozhi and Mewtwo soon arrived at the vital water source in the center of the island. At this time, Luna and Bennis had checked the water source and determined that there was no problem with the water source in the center. They also saw Xiaozhi walking slowly, supporting Mewtwo. Xiaozhi, this Pokémon is. His name is Mewtwo, the Mewtwo mentioned in Meowth 5.2. Why was he injured like this? Oh. Yes, so I need this lake water to treat him, but if you just drink water, there should be no way to fully recover him, you have to let him go directly. He entered the lake. Water will do, Xiaozhi said as Shibian came to the edge of the lake. At this time, Bennis was anxious. This won't work, Xiaozhi. If Mewtwo is allowed to enter this water source, I wonder if it will pollute the water source. There is a special ingredient in the water source, which may be used to make medicines that can treat many human diseases that are currently incurable. What Bennis did silence many people. Rationally speaking, Bennis is considering it on the side of their humans. After all, there are still many incurable diseases in the world, if this water source is destroyed. I don't know how long it will take for human medicine to achieve a major breakthrough. He is a world-famous professor of medicine. Of course we have to consider humanity, but from a perceptual point of view, there is a Pokémon in front of me that urgently needs treatment. All mankind and Mewtwo. What will Xiaozhi choose? In the image, faced with the choice of Libra given to him by Bennis, Xiaozhi said without any hesitation. The only one I want to save now is him. If you can't even save the life in front of you, why talk about all mankind? Then, he exerted a little force with his hands, and then threw Mewtwo hard. Just putting him down like this is not enough. You have to send Mewtwo to the center of the water source to cure him. All mankind and Mewtwo. Xiaozhi chose Mewtwo without hesitation. As Xiaozhi said, if you can't even save the life in front of you, why talk about saving all mankind? This is what Xiaozhi thinks and does. Chapter 139. Taking stock of rewards. Mej Mewtwonatex, Fountain of Life. Advertisement. Xiaozhi shocked everyone by choosing Mewtwo without hesitation. You know, Xiaozhi is also a human. However, between the progress of human medicine and the lives of Pokémon, Xiaozhi directly chose Mewtwo. It's not like there aren't people who cherish Pokémon in the world, but, to the extent that Xiaozhi does, it can really be counted. Unique, Yulongdu. To be honest, if it is Xiaozhi, I am not surprised at all by this choice. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. If he didn't do this, he wouldn't be Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. Ha ha ha. It's a pity that Xiaozhi hasn't grown up yet, otherwise I really want to have a good battle with Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Qihong. Don't worry, it won't be long. His growth rate is probably faster than you think. Close black lens bracket. Steven. Oh, Crimson Champion Crash Course. Okay, I'll make an appointment for Xiaozhi's first show first. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Can you make a reservation first by speaking first? Let's follow the ranking of the 8 masters. Alchemy Emperor is first and second. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. You were ranked high and you were noble. The person who was eliminated from the top 8 deserved to have the final battle, right? Damn it. Where is my Dragonite system? My Dragonite's exclusive Z move, Mega Evolution. You can come to anyone. The barrage list gradually became crooked. At first, everyone admired Xiaozhi's behavior. Later, it inexplicably turned into a fight. This is how the Pokémon world recognizes each other. When trainers' eyes meet, a heated battle is about to begin. Clear Cliff. Mewtwo was once again moved by what Xiaozhi said. Originally, he had already thought of Xiaozhi as something special before. However, what Xiaozhi did far exceeded his imagination. Between the future of all mankind and him, Xiaozhi chose to save him. What's going on with this heartbeat? Well, the 8 masters. If I were to fight as Xiaozhi's Pokémon, wouldn't I be very friendly to them? But if Xiaozhi fights Kai Hong, there's nothing I can't do if I go up there. Mewtwo is already thinking about Kai Hong fighting Xiaozhi. In the image, Mewtwo entered the depths of the water, and all the wounds on his body were being repaired. My strength began to revive again. This water source restored my strength to when I was uninjured. This water source has the same effect on all Pokémon in the world, even my cloned Pokémon. Who I am doesn't matter anymore. This source of water makes me understand that at least I am the same life form as the creatures born on this planet. I can also have the qualifications to live on this planet. To be honest, this paragraph is just like the Riddler. I have no idea what it means. Mew is mentioned inexplicably in the middle. I can only rely on my own understanding as much as possible. Beyond the water source, Giovanni drove the flying machine to the spring sky. But the only one that came was a flying machine controlled by Giovanni. He was probably the only one who escaped the entanglement of the clone Pokémon and bug-type Pokémon. Where is Mewtwo? Did you think I was going to tell you to listen? Boom. Faced with Xiaozhi's rebuttal, Giovanni directly controlled the flying device and fired an energy bomb. Hit this hidden place where birds are singing and flowers are fragrant. A field of flowers, plants and trees was destroyed in an instant. Even the water fountain was splashed. Stop, you will destroy the spring water. Humph, this place is already my territory, I can do whatever I want. Call Mewtwo out. As you wish, I'm here. As Giovanni finished speaking, a column of water rose into the sky. Mewtwo, whose body erupted with blue arrogance like a Mega Saiyan normal, appeared in front of Giovanni. At this time, Mewtwo has fully recovered from his injuries. How is it possible that this spring water can even heal all kinds of injuries in the world? There are many incredible things on this planet, and those things belong to nature. This place doesn't belong to you, just like I don't belong to you. Now, I won't let you do anything to anyone again. As he said that, the blue flames on Mewtwo's body became more and more powerful. Then it turned into a bright blue light, towering into the clouds. The blue light directly covered the entire clear cliff. No one knew what Mewtwo wanted to do at this point. As time passed, the blue sky and white clouds suddenly turned into a night sky full of stars. And the entire water of Mingjing Lake has completely disappeared. Giovanni waited for the other rocket planes to fall into the crater, and for a moment he had no idea what happened. Why is Mewtwo missing? Why is the lake gone? Why is it dark? And Mewtwo and others have arrived, at the bottom of Clear Cliff. Advertisement Mewtwo actually moved the entire Clear Cliff lake and water sources underground on his own. Yulongdu. Wakao, is this the power of advanced legends? Alchemy Emperor. To be precise, it is the power of the advanced legendary superpower system. I am afraid that only the superpower system that acts on all things can have such terrifying strength. Close black lens bracket. Will. It's scary. If the superpower system didn't have the weakness of the evil system, I'm afraid the first level god level superpower system would be one of the best among advanced legends. Close black lens bracket. Sabrina. Even if the evil system is restrained, the superpower system is still one of the best. The use of psychic is not just that. Close black lens bracket. Sabrina looked at Mewtwo's power with a strange light in her eyes. I thought her psychic was already at the top level in the world. Now it seems she is still far from the so-called top. The Mewtwo that Red fought against before had never displayed such a huge psychic in the Cerulean Cave. The battle with Charizard was all about using compression force, otherwise the entire Cerulean Cave would collapse. But the power of Mewtwo made it clear to Sabrina how far she is from the so-called peak. In the image, Mewtwo told Xiaozhi and others that he had transferred the lake water to the bottom of Qingqing Cliff. The transfer took half a day, but in their opinion it only took a moment. Xiaozhi marveled at the power of Mewtwo. Mewtwo said he didn't want the world to know that he had such power. Simply clear everyone's memory and let them forget him in practice. At this time, the Rockets trio who were brought along ran out, or rather, Meowth ran out. Meowth expressed their feelings on behalf of all the Pokémon. They don't want their memories to be lost. Wouldn't it be pitiful if you forget your biological parents? Xiaozhi nodded in agreement upon hearing this. Meowth is right. In fact, I don't want to forget these memories. After all, it doesn't mean that the memory is cleared and the matter will be forgotten. Xiaogang and Misty also said in agreement. Even if the memory is erased, we will always notice something. One day we will also realize that we have forgotten something. That's what I'm saying. We are all living creatures existing in this world. We should not forget who we are and what we have experienced. Xiaozhi looked at Mewtwo and said seriously, the most important thing is, if we all forget, Mewtwo, no one will remember you. It would be so pitiful to be forgotten by everyone. You have obviously done so many things for us. Thank you. Xiaozhi, you are an upright and kind-hearted trainer. In the future, you will definitely be able to realize your dreams. I will only delete the memories of those who have done evil. Your memories, I will keep them. Speaking Mewtwo's psychic surge, Team Rocket outside Clear Bluff has all their memories of Mewtwo erased. Mewtwo even kindly sent them back to a nearby city. Mewtwo once again demonstrated his terrifying power. In one thought, people can be sent back to a city dozens of miles away, and their memories can be selectively deleted. As Sabrina said, even if psychic is restrained by evil elements, it is still a very terrifying power. What they saw was just the tip of the iceberg. I also think psychic is quite outrageous. Forget it. This psychic has been renamed omnipotent. It can transform into a doll, teleport, attack, defend, delete memory, move a wide range of items. Li Li Yuan Shangpu is classified as everyone. Go to all over the world. No one will know that you are cloned Pokémon, go find your own trainer. Mewtwo said and started to use psychic to fly out with many Pokémon. Xiaozhi and the Rockets trio each made a hot air balloon. The Rockets trio were also smart enough not to cause trouble now. When flying reached a certain distance, Mewtwo said goodbye to Xiaozhi and others. He wants to send cloned Pokémon to various parts of the world. Before leaving, he said to Xiaozhi, if you hear someone calling you from behind, just look back, maybe you can see me there. The scene changed, and Xiaozhi and Misty Xiaogang were walking in a crowded city. Suddenly Xiaozhi heard a voice calling him, I am here. Xiaozhi turned around suddenly, but didn't see anything. But there was a smile on the corner of his mouth. I hear you, Mewtwo. The image ends here. This inventory ends here. The next inventory will begin in 10 minutes, so stay tuned. Close black lens bracket. The winners of this review are Mewtwo and Xiaozhi. The rewards will be distributed later, so stay tuned. Close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi and Mewtwo's second consecutive reward. It's them again. I'm tired of saying the word envy. Of course, Mewtwo and Xiaozhi deserve this award. A person who is willing to sacrifice himself in order to copy Pokémon. Another person resolutely chose Mewtwo between the future progress of human medicine and Mewtwo. Xiaozhi and Mewtwo seem to have one characteristic. That is their love for life and Pokémon. Advertisement getting 2 rewards is not too much. But what everyone is discussing now is not what rewards Xiaozhi and Mewtwo will get. But what happened to Mewtwo in the follow-up, Catalia? What does that last scene mean? Did Mewtwo keep following Xiaozhi after sending away the Pokémon? Will. According to Mewtwo's last words and the meaning expressed in that picture, it's almost 9 out of 10. Yulongdu. Gigi, at that time Xiaozhi didn't even compete in the Silver Conference, right? Charizard was still training in Charizard Valley, and his overall strength was probably not even elite. As a result, there was a first-level god as a bodyguard. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Will Xiaozhi conquer Mewtwo in the end? No way, no way. That's a first-level god. Cynthia. Kai Hong has already subdued Mewtwo, so it's not strange for Xiaozhi to do so. It would be weird not to do so. Close black lens bracket. The entire barrage list is in full swing. Everyone is talking about Mewtwo's ownership. Should he wander around the world, always follow Xiaozhi, or become Xiaozhi's Pokémon? Mewtwo. Xiaozhi. On your way to becoming a Pokémon master, do you need me? Quiet. The topic discussion ends here, no matter what the future looks like in the image. From a practical point of view, it is probably a certainty that Mewtwo will become Xiaozhi's Pokémon. As long as Xiaozhi opens his mouth, I'm afraid Mewtwo will come tonight. Xiaozhi. Do you need to talk about Mewtwo? If you are our partner, we can't be more reliable. In the future, let's fight against Brother Qihong's Mewtwo together. Close black lens bracket. Mewtwo. I will come to Pallet Town after I have settled them tonight. Shocked. The legendary Pokémon, Mew's clone Pokémon, level 1 God Mewtwo. He actually threw himself into his arms. Giovanni's teeth are so crunchy, his hands are swollen from pinching them, his eyes are almost going to be red. Although he no longer pursues Mewtwo that much, but the Pokémon that rejected him from Norman actually threw itself into the arms of a kid. It's like licking a dog to chase a goddess, and a goddess taking the initiative to chase a male god. I can't help laughing, ha ha ha. Even if that kid had enlightened him and saved him, he just couldn't bear it. He couldn't even find a reason in his heart for Mewtwo not to become Xiaozhi Pokémon. Give me. Forget it, stand still. Giovanni almost impulsively wanted Team Rocket to rush to Clear Cliff overnight. However, not to mention the unclear role of the Qingqing Cliff dominance that is currently being rewarded as an inventory reward. Mewtwo will definitely be very alert to hide his companions or spread them out. If he goes there now, it will be of no use at all except a waste of manpower and time. Mewtwo. Sooner or later I will catch you back. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Xiaozhi, ask Mewtwo to bring some of that spring water when he comes. Not too much, just a small amount will do. Professor Oak said to Xiaozhi with a sneer. Recently, his research has actually made quite a breakthrough. Whether it's the branches of the world tree or the red flame plate, his research has made significant progress. But the research is almost coming to an end. It's a bit uncomfortable to go back and eat those mediocre meals after getting used to nice clothes and fine food. Those things he has been studying recently, Wang Lihao, are legendary. Now ask him to go back to study ordinary topics. Haha. That's why Professor Oak fell in love with the spring water of Qingqing Cliff. That spring is a magical spring that can heal even a dying first-level god. Apart from the legendary Sacred Ash, owned by Ho-Oh, there should be nothing so magical in the world, right? If we can find out why, it will indeed be a big step forward in the history of human medicine. This is especially true for Pokémon healing. That's why Professor Oak shamelessly asked Xiaozhi to help. Regarding Professor Oak's request, Xiaozhi also asked Mewtwo on the barrage list. Mewtwo said he would bring some water. Benes, who is watching, can't wait to leave for Pallet Town immediately. The rewards have been distributed, please check carefully, close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi. Fountain of Life, Mewtwo. Mega Mewtwo X. Close black lens bracket. Mega Mewtwo X. If you have enough bond with trainer, you can evolve into Mega Mewtwo X form. Close black lens bracket. Fountain of Life. The ultimate form of the Mirror Lake Spring. It has the power to revive all things and restore their origin. It can treat any injury except death. There is no limit to the level of use. But the higher the level of the restorer, the more spring water will be needed. Even the god of creation can heal. For more power, please discover it on your own. The Spring of Life is stored in the backyard of Professor Oak's laboratory. No one can use or move the spring water except with Xiaozhi's permission. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Xiaozhi. Mewtwo. This Spring of Life makes the water spring they asked for in Mingjing Lake look stupid. This thing is actually the final form of the spring water of Mingjing Lake. It not only has the ability to heal Pokémon, but also has more functions. What ability? We can only wait for Xiaozhi and others to discover it, privately. Another thing is, this spring is bound to Xiaozhi. Unless Xiaozhi allows it, no one can use the Spring of Life. This is great for isolating the thoughts of all the villains in the world. No one will doubt the authenticity of what Tiandao Inventory said. Chapter 140. The Terrifying Effect of the Fountain of Life. Third Review. Guardian God of Water City. Advertisement. The rewards of this Tiandao Inventory are also two things that are almost impossible to find in the real world. An evolution stone that allows the first level god Mewtwo Mega to evolve into another form. And the Fountain of Life with incredible power. According to the introduction, the Fountain of Life can even restore injuries at the level of the god of creation. And this may be just the tip of the iceberg of the functions of this Fountain of Life. Tiandao Inventory has said that there are many other functions waiting to be discovered. Something that can be rewarded together with Mewtwo. How can it be an ordinary thing? A pond in Professor Oak's backyard was directly illuminated by a huge light. When the light dissipated, the pond was completely different. Not only is there a hill above the pond with clear spring water constantly flowing out. Even the spring water has changed. The spring water that originally looked like normal became crystal clear. There was also a powerful vitality exuding from it. Xiaozhi, Professor Oak and others quickly came to the Fountain of Life to check. Tiandao Inventory. It's really magical. The source of this water source seems to be endless. I can't see where it comes from at all. Professor Oak studied for a while and found that the source of this spring's output is completely invisible. Although it seems to be produced from this hill, the area of this hill is actually not large. Even if there is a mountain spring water output, at best it will be gone after a while. But now, the spring water seems to be flowing out in an endless stream. Yes, Professor Oak. I also got some information about the Fountain of Life when the spring appeared. Xiaozhi looked very excited at this time. The first time he saw the spring water, he already knew what he was going to use it for. The amount of water in this spring is always fixed. No matter how you use it, it will return to a full pool of water the next day. In this way, you don't have to worry about the spring water drying up. And there seems to be a classification table in my mind. As long as I want to use it, others can use this spring water, otherwise they can't even touch it. Hearing this, everyone went up to test it, and they found that when their hands touched the gentle water, it's like hitting a hard rock normal and you can't reach it at all. There is no feeling of touching the clear spring. When Xiaozhi added everyone present to the Fountain of Life whitelist, only the hands of everyone can touch the spring water. Well, it's so sweet. After drinking it, my whole body seems to have been incredibly repaired, all the fatigue and pain have disappeared. As a water gym leader, Misty immediately picked up some water with her hand and drank it. In an instant, she felt as if her body was being washed. All fatigue has been washed away. Even my body, which was a little sore from the long journey for more than half a year, is back to normal. If you are traveling with a glass of water like this, I am afraid that no matter how long the journey is, no matter how dangerous the place is, I will be able to get through it with enough energy. Professor Oak also took a sip of water, and a miracle happened. The white hair on his head began to slowly turn black. Although it is only less than 1/3 of the area, Professor Oak only took a sip. This is what Tiandao Inventory calls the fountain of life. This majestic vitality even made an old man over 50 with white hair turn slightly darker in an instant. Even the red eyes exuded strange colors. Come out, Mewtwo. Click. From the red Ultra Ball, a silver-white Pokémon with a hint of purple appeared in front of everyone. This is Red Mewtwo. Since coming to this world, Red has released him for the second time. The last time was at Mount Silver, and this time it was released for a very important matter. Mewtwo, help me find out the general function of this water. Did Xiaozhi give me permission? Already gave it. I gave it when I saw Mewtwo coming out. Xiaozhi looked at the strong Hideki field surrounding Mewtwo with some admiration. To be honest, if we just look at the surface comparison, the red Mewtwo basket is more powerful than the Mewtwo on the inventory. But it's normal, right? Mewtwo's improvement speed is already fast, and there is also the training of the fighting man Red. Even during the second inventory, Mewtwo of this world was probably born less than a year ago. How can it be compared to Kai Meng? Then let me try. Mewtwo confusion surged, and a small amount of spring water floated in front of him. A huge psychic swept through the spring water over and over again, and finally Mewtwo swallowed the spring water. When Mewtwo's closed eyes slowly opened, there was an unbelievable look of shock in his eyes. What's wrong, Mewtwo? Have you detected any other uses of this fountain of life? Chi-Hong looked at the shocked Mewtwo and was a little surprised. This is the first level god Mewtwo. What kind of power does it surprise even Mewtwo? This spring water has majestic vitality and can increase the lifespan of both humans and Pokémon. Of course, there is a limit. According to preliminary estimates, it is 100 years. Advertisement everyone in Oak Backyard. Although I had expected it when I saw Professor Oak's hair turning black. But a lifespan of 100 years is too exaggerated. You know, even though people in this world are in pretty good health, their average lifespan is only about 100 years old. The maximum lifespan does not exceed 150 years. But this spring water can actually increase human lifespan by 100 years. If this effect spreads, how many people will go crazy? It's not just that simple. You should already know that this spring water can restore injuries. But it not only restores injuries, but also restores the origin and repairs chaotic genes. Including my genes that have been unstable due to my messy experiments, they all changed after the spring water just now got calmed down. Mewtwo is a man-made Pokémon. It is the only Pokémon created by humans that can rival the higher gods. Although there may be some destined guidance in it, it is undeniable that he is man-made. Since it is man-made, it will have defects. Years of experiments and disordered genes caused Mewtwo to fall into a violent contest condition when they were in the Cerulean Cave. The Mewtwo of this world did not look like that. It's possible that Giovanni's machine inhibited the growth of Mewtwo's power. This prevented Mewtwo from going berserk due to his inability to control power and genetic disorder. But Mewtwo in the Crimson World has no one to help. So even now, Mewtwo is using tyrannical power to suppress genetic disorders. Only during Mega Evolution, Mewtwo will feel more relaxed. After Mega Evolution, not only did Psychic become larger, but the genes in his body suddenly became more stable. However, when Mewtwo drank from the Fountain of Life, he felt for the first time that his body could be so relaxed. This Fountain of Life, if you drink it for a long time, your strength will definitely rise to the next level. It's so powerful, the Fountain of Life. If I had rewarded this earlier, even if Charizard didn't have the Rainbow Wing, I could have completely fixed his flaws. Maybe it's possible, but it's definitely not as beneficial as Rainbow Wing to Charizard. After all, Charizard is still fire, and this spring is water. Chi-Hong vetoed Xiaozhi's statement. The function of Rainbow Wing is by no means useless. Whether it's the Sacred Flame or the enhancement of Charizard's firepower, they are all extremely powerful help. Judging from the effects of Rainbow Wing and Fountain of Life on Charizard alone, Rainbow Wing's effect is even more powerful. In addition, this spring water has the power to stimulate the potential abilities of Pokémon. In other words, if you train while using this spring water, your strength will increase faster. Mewtwo once again released important news. The Fountain of Life can increase the growth rate of Pokémon. This function is even more important. This means Xiaozhi can improve faster. Not only that, Misty, Xiaogang, Gary and others, including Pokémon in Professor Oak's backyard, I'm afraid they will all achieve unimaginable growth. You know, Xiaozhi's Pokémon are all trained independently in Professor Oak's backyard. With the Fountain of Life, even the Pokémon in the backyard will definitely progress as fast as normal. Thank you, Mr. Mewtwo. If you don't mind, you can have a drink of water, or you can just stay here. The genetic chaos in Mewtwo's body is definitely not something that can be solved with 2 gulps of the fountain of life. So Xiaozhi proposed to let Mewtwo live in Oak's backyard. Mewtwo also nodded. When Mewtwo from your world comes over, I will help you coach him. Xiaozhi was overjoyed when he heard this. Thank you in advance, Mr. Mewtwo. Kai Meng has lived at least 10 years longer than Mewtwo in their world. With Kai Meng coaching, Kai Meng's power should be even stronger. In these short 10 minutes, needless to say, Xiaozhi and others were shocked. The phone number at Professor Oak's house was almost buzzing, so Professor Oak immediately unplugged the phone line. These people, whether they have good intentions or bad intentions. The purpose is to get some fountain of life. Whether it's for research or for other things, Professor Oak thinks it's best to refuse. This spring water should never be taken outside unless necessary. Otherwise, once the news spreads, those villain organizations will not be able to touch the spring water of Professor Oak's laboratory. Can't we grab the spring water that is being sent out? Then, the professors will be the ones in danger? Professor Oak is even preparing to issue a statement on the barrage list. As a result, before he could say anything, a new inventory had arrived. Inventory of the story of Xiaozhi and legendary Pokémon, 2. Subtitle of this chapter, Guardian Saint of Water City. There is still no guessing mode in this chapter. There is a chance that there will be a question answering mode. Please be prepared, viewers. Close black lens bracket. Now, the video officially begins. Just when Professor Oak wanted to study the water source, the 3rd round of inventory began. Advertisement 0. Please give me flowers. The world is huge, and the inventory is the largest. Watching live broadcast is always more enjoyable than watching recorded broadcast. So Professor Oak temporarily suppressed his restless heart and decided to read through the new inventory first. Yulongdu. Is the new inventory about Xiaozhi's friendship with the mythical beasts again? How many mythical beasts do you know, Xiaozhi? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Okay, this is just the 2nd round, by the way. Which legendary Pokémon is this round counting? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. If you guessed wrong, it should be Latios or Latios. Bruno. Oh, you could guess it just by looking at the name, Professor Oak. It's really you, close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Bruno, Lance, when you see the word Shuidu, do you really think of nothing, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Bruno. Shuidu. I have no impression, close black lens bracket, Yulongdu. Water City. Could it be that Muse City, Aldomare? Lance is different from Bruno who doesn't remember anything. After Professor Oak's prompting, Lance suddenly remembered a legendary city in the Johto region. Odomare. Odomare is a city famous in the Johto region and even the entire world. It has the title of the most beautiful city in the world. However, there is another name of Odomare that is relatively unknown, and that is Water City for short. Bruno. What mare? What for? Lance, how do you know? Close black lens bracket. Karen. Haha, Bruno, can you be a Johto region Elite 4 like this? Why not go home and farm? You don't even know about Odomare, the most famous city in the Johto region, close black lens bracket. Will. Odomare is also known as the City of Water. It is located on the sea south of the peninsula where Azalea Town is located. It is also known as the most beautiful city in the world, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket B. 0. Well, this thing is actually within the city, no wonder he is despised. After all, Bruno is one of the Elite 4 in Johto region. He doesn't even know the most famous city in Johto region. But, you can't blame him. He is a member of the Johto region Elite 4. He has very little time to go to the Johto region. And that city is also on the sea, who knows? Professor Oak. Yes, the water city is Odomale. There is a legend circulating in Odomale. A long time ago, an evil monster invaded Odomale. It was Lati. Brother and sister Yas and Latios took action to drive the monsters out, close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Even now, the legend of the Lati brothers and sisters is still circulating in the water city. They are also known as the patron saints of the water city, so I was thinking, this time Xiaozhi and their stories. Cynthia. As expected of Professor Oak, your analysis is spot on. 2 Infinite Pokémon. We have seen the power of Latios before, but not Latios yet. After that, I can take a good look at it this time. Amidst the discussion among the large crowd, the video soon began. From the beginning of the picture, it is telling the legend of Water City. This legend is the same as Professor Oak's normal, with a few modifications. According to legend, Latios and Latios were seriously injured and turned into human forms and fell on the seaside. Saved by an elderly couple in Odomare, later, when the dark evil forces invaded Odomare. Latios and Latios step up, drive away the power of darkness and leave behind a precious item called Soul Dew. This prop is used as insurance to prevent Odomare from being invaded again in the future. It seems that this review is indeed the story of Xiaozhi, Latios and Latios. But the strange thing is, why is there an opening introduction this time? Soon the audience understood what the opening introduction was. These are two thieves stealing ancient books from the library, and reading them out. Ah, they are two beautiful big sisters, even thief is so charming. Xiaozhi looked at the two sexy big sisters and drooled. The red face showed an unprecedented look, it was as if Mewtwo had seen him and ran off to fall in love. Xiaozhi in this world seems to be a little different from his world. What's with this idiot-like expression? I obviously thought he was very reliable before. Is this all an illusion? Don't be a nymphomaniac by even looking at the inventory. Misty directly grabbed Xiaozhi's ears and made him smelling salts over. But soon, Xiaozhi will probably regret his obsessive behavior just now. In the image, after stealing the ancient book, the two sister phantom thieves set off for Otomil. Since they are called phantom thieves, their target is naturally the Soul Dew Gem. On the way to Otomir, the two sisters gave the audience a little high-tech shock. The sports car they were running on the ground rushed directly to the cliff. Then in an instant it transformed into a flying machine.